The Sky-Devouring Tiger's breath is ragged, a failing bellows. Bodhisattva Hunyuan tastes copper and fury on his tongue. Now Li stands before the Demon Emperor Hall and the line is crossed. The gears of fate are grinding past any hand that might stop them. Stay for the verdict. Sky-Devouring Tiger was almost out of breath. Yet it dared not struggle, saying with difficulty, It's him." Upon hearing this, the aura emanating from the Demon Emperor became even more terrifying. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. "I will slaughter him," when it came to disgrace. What could be more shameful than the Demon Emperor's daughter being defiled by a human and even becoming pregnant? Because of this, he couldn't even use it as an excuse to make trouble and eliminate Demon Moon. He didn't even dare to impose any punishment, for fear that one day, when the scandal broke out, Ling Yin would seize the opportunity to eliminate his daughter Liu Li. And the instigator of all this was that no one shadow guard. The Demon Emperor hated him to the bone. He wished he could find him and tear him to pieces. However, he had also sent people to investigate. But no one shadow guard seemed to have disappeared from the world. Not only could the Demon Clan not find him, but the human clan couldn't find him either. Now they told him. Jiang Fan, the culprit who caused the fall of the Demon Clan's dead spirit army. The one who brazenly killed a 2-star in front of him. The human that he wanted to kill so desperately was actually no one's shadow guard. His killing intent erupted like a volcano. It had been a long time since he had wanted to kill someone so badly. The last time was when he contended for the Demon Emperor realm with the barbaric elephant tribe leader. "Demon Emperor, calm your anger. Please calm down. He cannot be killed," Sky-Devouring Tiger hurriedly urged. The Demon Emperor's eyes were still filled with killing intent. He understood what Sky-Devouring Tiger wanted to say, but he still couldn't suppress the killing intent in his heart. "Demon Emperor, do you intend to hide Miss Liu Li for a lifetime? How long can the fact that she was defiled by a human and is pregnant be concealed? I even suspect that the spirit sound priest has long known. She's just waiting to see your joke, Demon Emperor. To break this situation, you must fulfill Liu Li and Jiang Fan. Announce to the public that Jiang Fan and Liu Li are deeply in love. Only this way can the situation be resolved smoothly." Sky-Devouring Tiger disregarded his increasingly tight throat. He revealed all his thoughts. He believed, with the Demon Emperor's wisdom, he had actually thought of this method long ago. Otherwise, once Liu Li's matter broke out, the Demon Emperor would be burdened with a lifetime of shame. The Demon Emperor was furious. "You want me to acknowledge a human who ruined the Demon Clan's grand plans, killed the Demon Clan's 10-star, and defiled my daughter as my son-in-law?" Although he was still very angry, he was obviously much more rational. Sky-Devouring Tiger breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Please decide for yourself, Demon Emperor." The Demon Emperor's expression fluctuated violently. He alternated between murderous intent and reason. Only after a dozen breaths did he heavily stamp his foot and release Sky-Devouring Tiger. His eyes were filled with resentment. Outside are the Beihai Demon Clan. Inside is the Spirit Sound Priest. And even further away is the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master. They all want to see my joke. With this thought in mind, he clenched his fists. At his realm, what he cared about besides his own strength was the reputation commensurate with his status. The scandal of his daughter, he absolutely did not dare let it break out. For now, the best method was what Sky-Devouring Tiger had said. Announce to the public that the two had long been in love. There was no such thing as defilement. Only this way could he save face and maintain his authority in the Demon Clan. He weighed it up. Killing Jiang Fan might bring temporary satisfaction, but would add another layer of bad reputation for killing a junior on top of not being able to afford to lose. Not killing Jiang Fan, without these bad reputations, the scandalous matter of his daughter would also be dissipated. And the price he paid was simply temporarily tolerating Jiang Fan for a bit longer. Once the outside world was calm, then kill Jiang Fan. As a generation hero, he quickly made up his mind and adjusted his mindset with a wave of his big hand. The isolated demon power dissipated. The Demon Clan's powerful ones were discussing fervently. What is Sky-Devouring Tiger reporting to the Demon Emperor? No matter what he's reporting, it doesn't affect the Demon Emperor killing Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan must die. There's no reason he can live. That's true. Concubine Xianxia also sighed in her heart. Jiang Fan's fate seemed to have no room for redemption. With her intelligence, she couldn't think of any chance for Jiang Fan to survive. Ha ha ha, dear son-in-law, it's such a big flood that hit the Dragon King's temple, and a family didn't recognize each other. The demon emperor appeared, showing a fervent smile. He stepped forward and lightly punched Jiang Fan's chest, teasingly scolding, "You brat, why didn't you say something earlier? Made us cause such a big misunderstanding." Eh. The whole place fell into eerie silence. The 10-star didn't care, nor did the strong people of the demon clan. The sea-charmed demon king didn't care, nor did concubine Xianxia. Everyone widened their eyes, not blinking as if seeing a ghost. The demon emperor not only did not kill Jiang Fan, his attitude suddenly made a 180-degree turn. Wait, what did he call Jiang Fan? Son-in-law. Didn't hear wrong, right? He called Jiang Fan son-in-law. Not to mention everyone else, Jiang Fan himself was stunned. Son-in-law? Jiang Fan pointed to his own nose. Are you talking to me? When did he and the demon emperor have this kind of relationship? It was completely unrelated, okay? Ha, young people are shy, I understand. Liu Li told me about you too. You are deeply in love, I won't interfere. Today, I will announce in front of the demon clan that you are my Sky Demon Emperor's son-in-law. Wait. Jiang Fan rubbed his temples, considering himself smart. He actually felt his brain not keeping up at this moment. When were he and Liu Li deeply in love? Why didn't he know? The demon clan's powerful ones were also dumbfounded. Liu Li got together with a human and got the demon emperor's approval. This is too absurd, right? Forget about Liu Li's fiery temperament, how could she fall for a human? Just with the demon emperor, he wasn't someone who would let his daughter mess around, right? With his forcefulness, if his daughter dared to fall in love with a human, he would unhesitatingly go to the human clan territory and exterminate that person along with their kin, ending any possibility of them being together. Humans and demons cannot intermarry. This was the prohibition passed down by the demon clan for generations. Occasionally, some powerful members of the demon clan stepped out of the prohibition's bounds. Even if together with humans, it would ultimately break apart under the demon emperor's intervention, leaving both in tragic ends. But now, the demon emperor actually broke the prohibition first and openly accepted Jiang Fan. This felt like a dream to them. The sea-charmed demon king swayed. She had heard about Liu Li being defiled by a human, never thought the instigator would be Jiang Fan. More so, never thought the demon emperor would recognize Jiang Fan to save face. Concubine Xianxia almost stumbled and fell. As a concubine of the demon emperor, she knew more than others. Liu Li was not only defiled but also pregnant. But she had never dreamed that the human was Jiang Fan, and the demon emperor, for the sake of reputation, had put up with acknowledging Jiang Fan. Now, Jiang Fan not only escaped death, but became a noble in the demon clan. The title of Demon Prince Consort would allow Jiang Fan to roam freely in the demon clan. Even the demon kings would have to be courteous by 3 points. She felt dizzy, this could work. It sounded ridiculous, yet it happened in reality. However, she was a bit puzzled. Fan were a sinister person, she had been captured by him twice. She would have been defiled countless times already, but Jiang Fan had not done so. Even when he searched her body, it was more playful than malicious. Logically, defiling Liu Li didn't seem like something Jiang Fan would do. But regardless, Jiang Fan had been blessed in disguise. With a gentle smile and a soft, ethereal voice, she said, "Xianxia congratulates the demon emperor on acquiring a good son-in-law." The sea-charmed demon king also breathed a sigh of relief and quickly extended his congratulations. Although the other demon experts were still bewildered, they also offered their muddled congratulations. Congratulations to the demon emperor on acquiring a good son-in-law. Congratulations, demon emperor. Best wishes, demon emperor. Just moments ago, the solemn atmosphere of the demon emperor palace had transformed into a scene of joyous celebration. The corpses of Orange Star and Blue Star lay coldly in the great hall. It was pathetic and ironic. Jiang Fan was utterly confused. What was going on? Had he become the prince consort of the demon race? Ha, the demon emperor laughed several times and said, "Everyone, disperse. I will choose an auspicious day to bestow the marriage, and then we will celebrate as a clan. At that time, everyone must enjoy an extra cup of wine." The demon experts agreed. Confused, they retreated. When only the demon emperor, the Sky-Devouring Tiger, and Jiang Fan were left, the demon emperor's smile faded, replaced by a sinister expression. "Jiang Fan, if you know what's best, cooperate a bit. Otherwise, I don't mind killing you right now." Jiang Fan was utterly bewildered. He had no idea what was happening, but he didn't have to die now, so why not? "Yes, demon emperor." Jiang Fan exhaled softly. If he had some time to buffer, maybe he could find a way to escape. "HMPH, come follow me to meet Liu Li." There are some things I need to explain to you both face to face. The Demon Emperor carried Jiang Fan, leaped up, and they sky-crossed to the palace of the Demon Emperor Court. There were many great halls here, serving as the bedchambers of his 36 concubines. At the center was his daughter Liu Li's palace, resplendent and magnificent, carved beams and painted pillars. The glazed tiles shone with a dazzling brilliance. Compared to the concubines' quarters, it was much more grandiose, showing how much the Demon Emperor valued Liu Li. At this moment outside the palace, it was heavily guarded by demon soldiers, all of War King level. No one was allowed to approach. Jiang Fan was perplexed. This was the Demon Emperor Court's harem. Was such heavy guarding necessary? It looked more like they were keeping her under house arrest. Everyone withdraw. From today on, there's no need to come back. The Demon Emperor waved them away. Then he approached the palace, knocking on the door. Liu Li, it's your father. Open the door. Creak, the palace door opened. But as soon as it did, a porcelain pillow flew out, aiming at the Demon Emperor's face. The Demon Emperor raised his hand to catch it. A shadowy figure tried to slip past him. The Sky-Devouring Tiger had to block the figure with a wry smile. Young master, please don't run. With the Demon Emperor here, you have no chance of escaping. The shadow was stopped, revealing her form. A demon girl with golden wavy hair, a voluptuous body, fair skin, and deep-set features with an exotic charm. It was Liu Li, the Demon Emperor's daughter. She spat fiercely. How long are you going to keep me locked up? Just kill me. The Demon Emperor's eyes showed affection as he sighed. From today, you are free. What? Liu Li couldn't believe it. Since she returned, she was discovered to be pregnant. The Demon Emperor had confined her to the palace, forbidding her to step outside. Even her meals were passed through a small hole like that for a prisoner. No one was allowed to see her. Liu Li understood that the Demon Emperor didn't want anyone to see her pregnant and let her scandal spread. But it had been several months. Liu Li had never been so restricted. All her attempts to escape had been thwarted. She had no idea how much longer these dark days would continue. Unexpectedly, they were lifting her confinement without warning. Really? Liu Li couldn't believe it. The Demon Emperor nodded, holding her hand. Come inside and let's talk. Liu Li was inwardly excited, following the Demon Emperor back into the palace. However, she was slightly surprised. The Demon Emperor had brought along a human youth. This was the Demon Emperor's harem, and aside from patrolling guards, men were forbidden here. She asked doubtfully, Father, who is this person? Why did you bring him to my palace? Make him leave. I have no good feelings towards humans. The Demon Emperor sat down, calmly saying, he will be living in your palace from now on. Liu Li thought she heard wrong and stood there, stunned. Father, what are you saying? Do you want me to live with him in the same room? The Demon Emperor had gone mad. Why would he make such a foolish arrangement? The Demon Emperor replied calmly, a husband and wife living together, what's wrong with that? Husband and wife. Liu Li was so shocked her jaw dropped, pointing at Jiang Fan. Father, you must be mistaken. I barely even know him. The Demon Emperor stayed silent, gazing intently at Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan was equally confused at this moment. He truly didn't understand how he and Liu Li had become a couple, although they had indeed interacted before. After thinking it over, Jiang Fan said, Liu Li, it's me. This voice. Liu Li looked at Jiang Fan suspiciously. She saw Jiang Fan slowly take out a mask from his chest and put it on his face. It was marked with a clear 1. Instantly, Liu Li trembled as if struck by lightning. Through clenched teeth, she spat out 4 familiar words. No one, Shadow Guard. It's you. A surge of murderous intent erupted from her eyes. Without hesitation, she clenched her fists and lunged at Jiang Fan, shouting sharply. I'll kill you. He had taken her chastity, stolen her treasures, made her bear a human's child. Everything made her want to eat Jiang Fan's heart alive. Without any more words, she wanted to kill Jiang Fan. But one glance from the Demon Emperor pinned Liu Li down, and he said sternly, Stop! You cannot kill him, at least not now. Liu Li ignored him, yelling, I don't care, I want to kill him now. The Demon Emperor replied coldly, Then you will be confined again. You'll never step out again for the rest of your life. Liu Li finally calmed down a bit. She looked at the Demon Emperor, her eyes filling with tearful grievance. Father, why? The enemy who harmed me is right before me. Why won't you let me kill him? Jiang Fan rubbed his nose. He was really confused. What happened between him and Liu Li? Why was he called the Prince Consort, yet Liu Li wanted to kill him on sight? Liu Li, aren't you being a bit unreasonable? Jiang Fan didn't expect to live long in the Demon Emperor Palace anyway, so he didn't hold back. What did I do to you? Didn't I merely disrupt your plan to massacre the 9 sect elites? and incidentally take some valuable treasures. Do you need to treat me as a mortal enemy because of that? Ha, was it just that? Seeing Jiang Fan denying his wrongdoings, Liu Li shouted through her tears, "You shameless bastard! Don't you know what you did to me?" Fan was stunned by the question. This kind of talk, it seemed like Jiang Fan had done something to wrong her. "Besides those, is there anything else?" Jiang Fan asked in confusion. Liu Li was shaking with anger. "I used to think you were shameless, despicable, and low, taking advantage of others. But I never expected you don't even have the courage to admit it. You scum, degenerate disgrace of the human clan." Damn. Jiang Fan was angry too. What had he done to be scolded like this? "I warn you, watch your mouth. Don't think just because you are the demon emperor's daughter I won't scold you back," Jiang Fan said with a cold face. Seeing Jiang Fan deny it so much, Liu Li was furious. "You've forgotten, huh? Let me remind you. The broken temple in the southern part of Giant City. What did you do after you poisoned me unconscious with your poison pill?" Huh. Jiang Fan was dumbfounded. "What do you mean? You don't think I violated you, do you?" My God, back then he didn't recognize Liu Li as the demon emperor's daughter. Just thought she was a passing girl, accidentally poisoned by his poison pill. Then he placed her on the desk and watched over her all night. He hadn't even touched a single finger of hers. Liu Li was furious. She had given the time, place, and people involved, and Jiang Fan still wanted to deny it. "You think you're flawless that no one knows? Look for yourself, what is this?" She pointed to her round belly, which seemed to be several months pregnant, and said, "Inside here is your seed. How can you deny that?" Damn it, Jiang Fan's scalp was about to explode. He hadn't done anything. Where did this seed come from? He understood now. Liu Li had hooked up with someone and got pregnant. Now they needed someone to be the green-headed groom to quell the scandal for the demon emperor. For the sake of survival, Jiang Fan could endure many things. But this kind of thing he couldn't endure. He immediately sneered. "Good for you, Liu Li. You don't behave yourself, but you want to pin it on me. Sorry, I won't be this green turtle." What a joke. Even if he died right now, he wouldn't tolerate such disgrace. What? Liu Li was trembling with anger. She was already pregnant, and Jiang Fan was still denying it, even accusing her of being unchaste. "Ah, I'll kill you. I'd rather be locked up for life than let you, this scumbag degenerate, live." Liu Li was completely enraged. Fortunately, the demon emperor held her back. Looking at Jiang Fan with cold eyes, he spoke imposing words without anger. "Jiang Fan, you better explain this clearly to me. My daughter has always been chaste, only ever touched by you. No one else has ever laid a finger on her. Now she is pregnant and you still want to deny it." Jiang Fan chuckled in anger. Who knew which man's seed this was? This green bill. Jiang Fan couldn't accept it. "I've already said quite," Jiang Fan was saying when he suddenly felt something was wrong. Liu Li's belly looked like it was almost 5 months along. Wasn't it only 2 months ago that she got pregnant? Moreover, 2 months ago, Liu Li's tummy was very flat. Even if he had planted a seed, it couldn't have grown this fast, right? "Are you sure you're pregnant?" Jiang Fan asked in doubt. Liu Li pointed to her belly and angrily said, "If this isn't pregnancy, what is it?" The demon emperor's face showed suspicion. "What are you trying to say? Are you suggesting my daughter is faking it?" A thought sprang up in Jiang Fan's mind. Could it be that Liu Li wasn't pregnant? She didn't know herself, and the demon emperor, for the sake of face, didn't dare have a physician check it. So it was hastily assumed that this big belly was due to pregnancy. He cautiously asked, "Liu Li, why do you think I violated you? There must be more than just unfounded came out from nothing, right?" Liu Li blushed and angrily said, "You want evidence? That day when I woke up, my whole body was sore, my thighs were swollen, and I couldn't walk. How you ravaged me that night, don't you remember?" Jiang Fan understood a bit. Soreness and thigh pain were likely effects of the poison Liu Li had. Liu Li mistakenly thought Jiang Fan had tortured her all night. Thinking of this, his mouth twitched. This self-righteous woman. As for the fetus in her womb. He also had some speculation and calmly said, "I have some accomplishments in the medical path. Would you mind if I checked your pulse to confirm the fetus?" Liu Li snorted. "No way," the demon emperor spoke sternly. "Liu Li, let him be sure." Only then did Liu Li reluctantly extend her hand. Jiang Fan touched her hand. The pulse was smooth. There was no sign of pregnancy. Then he used the qi observation technique to check. Inside her round belly, there was no fetus at all. It was clearly a mass of accumulated poisonous gas. Damn it. Jiang Fan laughed angrily. So it was due to poisoning. And he was wrongly accused of defiling her and making her pregnant. "So what do you have to say now?" Seeing Jiang Fan remain silent, Liu Li said angrily. Jiang Fan said in anger, pregnancy this is, but he suddenly realized. The reason he was still alive was that the demon emperor needed him to clear up this scandal. If it's found out that Liu Li's pregnancy was a misunderstanding, why would the demon emperor keep him alive? To celebrate festivals. Wouldn't he be chopped into pieces in no time? With a quick move, Jiang Fan coughed dryly and said, "All right, I admit it. The thing in Liu Li's belly is my seed." Liu Li's tears of grievance continuously rolled down her cheeks. Holding her belly, she sobbed, "Poor child. You haven't even been born and your father denied you. How miserable your life is." Boo-hoo, Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. But he couldn't reveal the truth, so he could only cough dryly to alleviate the awkwardness. "Nothing, I'm here now, aren't I? From now on, I'll be with you, raising our child well together." Liu Li glared at him resentfully. "Who wants you to raise it? I'll give birth to this child and raise him to adulthood. For the rest of your life, you'll never see him." She had fully assumed the role of a mother, envisioning a future where she would soon give birth to a baby. The demon emperor's face was solemn. "If you keep denying, I will personally strangle you," Jiang Fan said awkwardly. "I wouldn't dare. From now on, I will follow the demon emperor's arrangements with no more objections." The demon emperor's face softened slightly. "From today, you will live in the Liu Li palace and take good care of my daughter and the child in her belly. I will arrange your wedding as soon as possible. Before the belly becomes too noticeable, finish the wedding." Jiang Fan had no opinion. He even wished to wait a little longer, giving him more hope to escape the demon emperor court. But Liu Li strongly opposed. "Father, I don't want to live with him." "I can do it on my own," the demon emperor said firmly. "Humph, haven't you shamed me enough? I don't care whether you accept Jiang Fan or not. Starting today, you are a loving, engaged couple. If you refuse, then you'll be under house arrest in this palace until you die. And the bastard in your belly I won't acknowledge, I'll have it aborted," threatening her with house arrest until death. Liu Li was still stubborn, but threatening the fetus. She immediately broke into tears and yielded. "Father, please don't abort it. The child is innocent. I'll accept whatever you arrange." Jiang Fan couldn't hold it anymore. He burst out laughing. "Li have maternal love. She's not even pregnant. Isn't this self-delusion? If the truth comes out, Liu Li would be utterly embarrassed. Her social status would die on the spot, right?" "What are you laughing at?" Liu Li coldly glared at her. "You heartless thing. Your son is about to be aborted and you're still laughing." Jiang Fan couldn't hold back and laughed again. "How do you know it's a son? What if it's a daughter?" Liu Li snorted. "I already asked long ago. If your belly is pointed, it's more likely a daughter. If it's round, it's more likely a boy. Look at my belly, it's perfectly round. Absolutely a son." Her delicate face naturally showed a warm expression. Realizing this, she straightened her face and snorted softly. "Why ask so many questions? Even if it is a son, he will take my last name. Don't think about carrying on the Jiang family's bloodline." Jiang Fan forced back his laughter. With a serious expression, he said, "All right, then I'll try my best to take up the responsibility of a father. I hope our child can be born safe and sound." Liu Li turned her head away. She snorted from her nostrils but didn't resist as much as before. After all, Jiang Fan was the child's biological father. She also hoped her flesh and blood could have a proper home, seeing the two reach an agreement. The demon emperor's worries settled, and he said, "Jiang Fan, from today on you will live in Liu Li Palace. Without my permission, you are not to leave even half a step. If you cause any trouble, you know what will happen." This place was the demon emperor's harem. 36 concubines lived here, each one a rare beauty among the demon race. Especially Xianxia next door. She was an existence of immortal beauty. He didn't want to hear any news of his concubines being taken advantage of by Jiang Fan. If that really happened, even if it resulted in his daughter's scandal, he would tear Jiang Fan to pieces. "Yes, your majesty." Jiang Fan would have to be crazy to covet the demon emperor's concubines. That was a man's bottom line. Not to be touched. "All right, you two talk, let me know if you need anything." The demon emperor tapped his feet and flew away, leaving Jiang Fan and Liu Li in awkward silence. Eventually, Jiang Fan spoke first. "There are many rooms in the palace, right?" Liu Li snorted. "Of course. Why are you disappointed? Did you think there was only one room and we would have to share a bed, this guy? What did she think of me?" Jiang Fan angrily said, "I need to cultivate. Who wants to touch you?" With that, he entered the palace alone. He found that there were indeed many stone rooms of various sizes inside the palace. Most of them were secret chambers, perfect for cultivating. He decisively chose a large secret chamber, entered, and closed the stone door behind him, leaving Liu Li standing awkwardly. So Jiang Fan just wanted a secret chamber for solitary cultivation. Not at all what she had imagined. Liu Li blushed with embarrassment, clenched her fists, and pounded on the palace door. Bastard, acting all serious. Have you forgotten how wildly you vented on me that night? The more she thought about it, the angrier she got. If not for her father's reputation, she would have just cut down this jerk with her sword. Just you wait. With that, she angrily returned to her room. Little did she know, up on a drifting cloud, the demon emperor's presence finally dissipated. He had been observing Jiang Fan, fearing that once he left, Jiang Fan might start acting wildly in his harem. Seeing him go to cultivate obediently with no extra moves, he finally relaxed. In the secret chamber, Jiang Fan eagerly took out Lu Liang's thunder pill, feeling the powerful lightning force within. His eyes were full of desire. The power of lightning I've been longing for? Jiang Fan immediately began to absorb it. As a thread of lightning entered his body, the expected painful sting of electrical burn didn't come. On the contrary, after Lu Liang's refining, the thread of lightning was very gentle. Jiang Fan absorbed it easily and comfortably. Soon, the thunder pill in his palm had only one last arc left. As Jiang Fan absorbed it, the lightning power Lu Liang had painstakingly accumulated became Jiang Fan's asset, feeling double the lightning power in his body compared to before. Jiang Fan excitedly took out Lei Zhenhai's incomplete thunder extension order. On it were recorded the first 2 layers of Heavenly Thunder 6 parts Cloud Shadow. Mastering the first layer to perfection could transform into pale blue lightning and move to any point within 100 feet. Mastering the second layer to perfection could ride the purple cloud thunderbolt and move to any point within 1,000 feet. Previously, Jiang Fan had perfected the first layer but was limited by his lightning power, unable to advance. Now he could finally practice the second layer. He wondered whether, with the void flow thunder force, it could also double the range like the first layer. Meanwhile, in the 100 fragrance palace of the harem, Xianxia, why are you coming to my sleeping hall? In the bath pool of the hall. Concubine Xianxia soaked in the milky white spiritual liquid pool, feeling extremely comfortable. She softly said, Liu Li Palace is right next door. The reunion of the couple is always more exciting. I can't stand their romantic encounters. 100 fragrance concubine, sitting by the pool, laughed and scolded through her sleeve. You've become so bold to say such shameless things after just one trip out. Concubine Xianxia was momentarily stunned. Indeed, how did she dare say such things before? She rubbed her temples and sighed. Being near red makes you red, being near ink makes you black. Ever since she met Jiang Fan, she had become increasingly irritable. Regarding matters between men and women, she seemed a bit more forward now. Fortunately, she wouldn't have to encounter Jiang Fan for a long time. 100 fragrance concubine didn't understand. Was Xianxia getting darker from being near someone? She sighed softly. You can stay at my place, I don't mind. But you can't keep hiding from His Majesty. You can't hide every time you come back, can you? Concubine Xianxia said nothing. Avoiding Jiang Fan and Liu Li was an excuse. What she really wanted to avoid was the demon emperor. I'll hide as long as I can, dear sister, let me sleep here one more night. With you here, His Majesty won't come looking for me. Concubine Xianxia coyly pleaded. 100 fragrance concubine said helplessly, you never listen to advice. You're already married to His Majesty, what else are you thinking? Just this one night. Concubine Xianxia then smiled, then join me. Let's bathe together. 100 fragrance concubine glared at her, shameless. You go first, I'll have a maid bring some incense for you. With that, she got up and left. Soon, a maid awkwardly carried a basket full of dried flower petals. As she scattered the petals, she accidentally spilled half the basket. The maid was startled. She quickly knelt down and begged, please forgive me, Concubine Xianxia, I know I was wrong. Concubine Xianxia said gently, it's all right, you may leave. The maid felt greatly relieved, thinking, they say Concubine Xianxia is the gentlest. It's true indeed. Once the maid left, Concubine Xianxia lay comfortably in the spirit pond, feeling more relaxed than ever. Ever since she met Jiang Fan, her mood had gotten worse day by day. That guy always managed to get on her nerves, turning her from a praised, gentle concubine into a shrew. He was simply toxic. It's so nice not having Jiang Fan around. Concubine Xianxia picked up a rose petal and kissed it lightly. Her face showed a relaxed smile, but the next moment, her expression froze. She saw a twisted bolt of purple cloud thunderbolt streak from the sky. It landed right next to the spirit pond. A young figure, covered in dust, climbed up and cursed. This purple cloud thunder is so hard to control. He patted the dust off himself. suddenly feeling eyes upon him. He turned his head and saw a perfect figure partly obscured in the bath pool, and a pair of beautiful eyes staring in surprise and confusion. Jiang Fan's heart skipped a beat. This is concubine Xianxia taking a bath. No. How did the purple cloud thunder bring him here? Thinking of concubine Xianxia's fiery temper, Jiang Fan felt a chill in his heart. He pretended not to see it. He began to operate cloud shadow, preparing to escape again. At this moment, concubine Xianxia finally came to her senses. "Ah, Jiang Fan!" she screamed in rage. The gentle concubine, who had finally regained her composure, lost it in an instant. She was in a complete breakdown. To distance herself from Jiang Fan, she had specifically come to the 100 Fragrance Palace, which was more than 1,000 feet away from the Liu Li Palace. She thought she could have a few days of peace of mind, to cleanse her soul filled with resentment. Who would have known? Jiang Fan actually followed her here, and at the moment of her bath. "This is bad," Jiang Fan muttered under his breath, realizing he was in the Demon Emperor's harem, and at the site where concubine Xianxia was bathing. If the Demon Emperor found out, no matter how he explained, it wouldn't matter. Even with the status of the biological father of the child Liu Li was carrying, it wouldn't save him. He immediately lunged forward, covering concubine Xianxia's mouth, and whispered harshly, "Do you want me to die?" Concubine Xianxia was startled by Jiang Fan's actions. At this moment, she was not wearing a thread and instinctively struggled to shake off Jiang Fan's hand. Seeing that she was still not calming down, Jiang Fan simply flipped over, straddling her and pinning her down to prevent her from flailing about. But this made concubine Xianxia even more panicked. Her struggles became more frantic. Shamefully, despite her great strength and the fact that it was easy for her to kill Jiang Fan at such a close range, when pinned down by Jiang Fan, it seemed as if her power was not responding. No matter how she tried, she couldn't muster her strength. She could only struggle softly like a human clan bride who had never cultivated. Muffled sounds escaped her mouth. "Calm down," Jiang Fan whispered harshly. "It's not like I haven't seen your body before." Originally very panicked, concubine Xianxia immediately became filled with shame and anger. She widened her eyes, and with her powerful eyesight, she sent Jiang Fan flying into the spirit pond. With a splash, a large amount of white spiritual liquid splashed onto the shore. Concubine Xianxia, with eyes full of anger, furiously shouted, "Say that again! I will cut your tongue out!" Seeing that she finally calmed down a little, Jiang Fan, regardless of his dripping wet body, hurriedly hushed her. "Do you want to get me killed? Me harm you?" Concubine Xianxia was so angry her lungs almost burst. She slapped the water hard with both palms, causing waves to splash several feet high. Her eyes were filled with fury. "You came here to peek at me bathing, and you say I harm you?" She lowered her voice and scolded angrily. Jiang Fan said helplessly, "You might not believe me if I tell you. I was actually cultivating my technique." Concubine Xianxia sneered, "Then your cultivation technique is really despicable and shameless." Jiang Fan touched his nose. Feeling guilty, he said, "Who would have thought you'd choose this secluded corner to bathe? Aren't you supposed to stay next door to me?" Concubine Xianxia was at a loss for words. She glared at Jiang Fan fiercely with apricot-shaped eyes. Why did she come here? One of the reasons was to avoid seeing Jiang Fan, but who would have thought he'd follow her here? Jiang Fan cupped his hands and coughed dryly. "Whether it was intentional or a mistake, today I crossed the line. I apologize to concubine Xianxia. Farewell." With that, he began to cast a spell to leave. Concubine Xianxia was so angry she clenched her teeth. An apology, and he thinks he can just leave. How could it be that easy? She pushed with a graceful hand, sending a wave of pool water splashing onto Jiang Fan. His impending thunder technique was forcibly interrupted. "Concubine Xianxia, this is no time for jokes. If the Demon Emperor comes, I'm dead for sure," Jiang Fan hurriedly said. Concubine Xianxia snorted, "Then die. You die, and I can finally find peace." She had come this far, and Jiang Fan still managed to appear right in front of her, driving her mad. She felt an overwhelming sense of despair, as if Jiang Fan was everywhere. Except to make Jiang Fan die, there seemed to be no way to avoid him. Jiang Fan was also infuriated. How could this woman be so unreasonable? "If I die, will it make things better for you? If the Demon Emperor kills me, I will spill the beans on how you were frisked by me twice and forced to strip by Lu Liang. From my observation, the Demon Emperor isn't exactly a magnanimous person about such things." Concubine Xianxia's expression froze. What she feared most was the Demon Emperor learning about these things. The Demon Emperor was far from generous in these matters. He was pathologically possessive. If she spoke a few more words with a man, the demon emperor would be suspicious. If he found out about these things, he would interrogate her like a madman. The mere thought of it made her feel suffocated. It seems you've understood. So, farewell. Jiang Fan began casting a spell again. Concubine Xianxia wanted to make a move to stop him, but she was truly worried that the demon emperor would catch Jiang Fan and end up implicating her. This feeling of being held by someone made Concubine Xianxia feel frenzied. She said in frustration, "Jiang Fan, I won't let you off." Jiang Fan smiled and waved, "Until we meet again." He was about to transform into thunder and leave. Suddenly, the six-path master in his arms chuckled. "Kid, you'd better hide quickly. The demon emperor is already here." As a former late-stage nascent soul, his sense of the presence was far superior to Jiang Fan's. This made Jiang Fan's heart tighten. If he transformed into thunder and shot into the sky now, he would get caught right away, wouldn't he? But nowhere in this palace was safe to hide. He glanced at the milky white spirit liquid pool. Jiang Fan gritted his teeth, donned the turtle breath cloak, and then dove into the spirit pool. "What are you doing?" Concubine Xianxia, startled, hugged her arms to her chest and scolded. At this moment, she also sensed something and looked toward the sky. A mass of dense demon clouds swiftly approached. One moment it was on the horizon. The next, it appeared overhead. In the demon cloud, a golden-haired, extraordinarily handsome demon emperor descended rapidly. He immediately saw Concubine Xianxia in the spirit pool. "Xianxia, what are you doing here?" the demon emperor asked in surprise. Concubine Xianxia quickly squatted down. She hid her ambiguous figure deeper in the spiritual liquid. Moreover, she pulled all the flower petals from the pool around her to completely cover the water's surface. Her heart was in a panic, but she maintained a calm tone. "It has been a while since I have spent time with 100 Fragrance, so I came here for a visit. I didn't mean to disturb His Majesty's leisure. I will leave now." The demon emperor slightly relaxed, showing a gentle smile. "I heard unusual noises here, so I came to check. I didn't expect it to be you bathing here." His gaze fell on Xianxia's exposed, snow-white shoulder. A spark of desire ignited. Concubine Xianxia's heart was pounding like a drum, but she pretended to be calm. "I just felt like playing with some water a moment ago. Sorry to have disturbed your majesty." The demon emperor's gaze grew hotter as he walked slowly around the pool, eventually standing beside Xianxia. He chuckled softly. "It's rare to see the usually dignified and gentle Xianxia in such high spirits today. I might as well join you for some fun." On the spot, he began to undo the jade belt around his waist. Concubine Xianxia was startled, not to mention her strong resistance. Just Jiang Fan being in the spirit pond, she couldn't possibly agree. "Xianxia has finished bathing and will dress now. Please, Demon Emperor, step back." She spoke coldly, her expression icy, leaving no room for ambiguity with the Demon Emperor. The Demon Emperor's face stiffened slightly, his mood flickering. There was no need to guess, he was very angry, but for some unknown reason he restrained himself, and after a long pause he sighed and said, "Xianxia, it has been so many years. How much longer will you refuse me? Jiang Fan is just a human prisoner. After spending a few days with him, you developed feelings for him and even defied my orders to let him go. All the effort I've put in over the years, does it not mean anything to you?" At the mention of Jiang Fan, Concubine Xianxia's heart raced. She felt extremely guilty. A lie told once required 100 lies to cover it up. Initially, there was nothing between her and Jiang Fan. Now it was a tangled mess. She maintained her cold demeanor and said, "If it concerns the demon race's affairs, Xianxia is willing to discuss it with the Demon Emperor. If it's these unrelated personal matters, the Demon Emperor need not say more." The Demon Emperor's face turned somber. His attempt to play the emotional card was blocked by Concubine Xianxia's cold words. "Xianxia, what do I have to do for you to accept me?" Concubine Xianxia replied indifferently, "I don't understand what the Demon Emperor is saying." As she dealt with the Demon Emperor, Jiang Fan's mute Zen voice unexpectedly echoed in her mind. "Concubine Xianxia, what is your relationship with the Demon Emperor? It doesn't sound like you're a married couple." He had always sensed something peculiar about their relationship. Now it seemed even more off. It appeared that Concubine Xianxia was very averse to the Demon Emperor, yet the mighty Demon Emperor couldn't do anything about it. Concubine Xianxia was startled, quickly scolding within her mind. "Are you courting death? Daring to speak to me now? What if the Demon Emperor finds out?" Jiang Fan helplessly replied, "I'm just reminding you to keep it short. I'm running out of breath." After all, he wasn't a water series demon. nor did he have a water-repelling pearl or similar magical treasures. At the moment, hiding in the spiritual liquid, he could only rely on holding his breath to avoid detection. Concubine Xianxia realized that Jiang Fan couldn't hold his breath for long. If he were exposed, it would be catastrophic. "Demon Emperor, please withdraw," Concubine Xianxia said coldly, her face showing clear displeasure. The Demon Emperor's face grew solemn. Without a word, he fastened his jade belt and floated away. Before leaving, he glanced at the spiritual liquid splashed all over the ground, his eyes narrowing. Pretending nothing was amiss, he disappeared. Concubine Xianxia let out a slight sigh of relief, just as she was about to speak and tell him to come out quickly. Jiang Fan's mute Zen voice sounded in her mind again. "Don't speak. The Demon Emperor might not have left. He is a very suspicious person. Seeing this place in such disarray, he will surely have doubts." Concubine Xianxia's heart skipped a beat. Indeed, the Demon Emperor was such a person. She pretended to lie in the spirit pond unconcernedly, letting out a long breath as if relieved. But in her mind, she was furious. "Jiang Fan, look at what you've done. I haven't done anything, yet you've made it look like I've wronged the Demon Emperor." She felt extremely aggrieved. If Jiang Fan were discovered and dragged out of the spirit pond by the Demon Emperor, anything she explained would sound weak, just as the crude phrase went. When mud falls into the pants, regardless of if it is, it looks like it is. Jiang Fan snorted, "Isn't this your fault? If you had let me go earlier, none of this would have happened. Now you've dragged it until the Demon Emperor came." Concubine Xianxia retorted angrily. "And you have the nerve to mention it. If it wasn't for your cultivation method that led you to my bathing area, would we be in this mess? I'll tell you, sooner or later, I will kill you." She desperately wanted a world without Jiang Fan. However, as soon as she said this, her face changed. He had pinched her thigh. Fortunately, she had been touched by Jiang Fan twice before, so she had somewhat built up immunity. She didn't scream. But in her mind, she angrily scolded, "Jiang Fan, what are you doing? Touch me again and we'll perish together." Jiang Fan chuckled. "People say you're gentle, but where's the gentleness? You're always either throwing a fit or on your way to throw one. Whoever said you were gentle must be blind." Concubine Xianxia was so angry she couldn't speak. Why had she become like this? Wasn't it because of this bastard? At this moment, she only wanted to get away from Jiang Fan quickly, saying, "How long can you hold your breath?" Jiang Fan replied through mute Zen, "Less than a minute." "It's best the Demon Emperor leaves within a minute or else." Concubine Xianxia's heart jumped. Knowing that Jiang Fan couldn't last much longer, she grew anxious. Her only option was to leave the pond herself. Then the Demon Emperor might dispel his doubts. "Close your eyes." "Why? I'm getting dressed." "Have you closed them?" "Yes." "How many fingers am I holding up?" "3. "Jiang Fan," Concubine Xianxia scolded in humiliation, "you are shameless." Jiang Fan smacked his lips and said, Okay, I won't look. I've already touched you more than once, yet you won't even let me look." Concubine Xianxia felt a dull pain in her chest. She wanted to find a place far away from Jiang Fan to cultivate her emotions. If it continued like this, she would fall ill from anger. Gritting her teeth, not caring if Jiang Fan was peeking, she withdrew her hands tightly pressed to her chest, preparing to pull her gown from the air to wear. Suddenly, from behind came the Demon Emperor's faint voice. "Xianxia, are you bathing alone?" This startled Concubine Xianxia's soul nearly out of her body. She turned her head. The Demon Emperor stood with his arms crossed, squinting at the seemingly bottomless spirit pond. Concubine Xianxia's heart pounded wildly. Jiang Fan was right. The Demon Emperor was suspicious. Luckily, with Jiang Fan's reminder, she didn't show any panic. Her face turned cold as she said, "Demon Emperor, what do you mean?" The Demon Emperor replied indifferently, "Exactly what it sounds like." Then his body shook. A wave of nascent soul energy swept across the spirit pond. Except for the area around Concubine Xianxia, every part of the water was under the pressure of the nascent soul energy. Not to mention hiding a person. Even if there was a bug, it would be crushed to death. In an instant, Jiang Fan's body was pressed by the nascent soul energy, causing excruciating pain, and the nascent soul energy kept increasing. He was on the verge of splitting apart and bleeding, which would mean being exposed. In this critical moment, two jade-like hands silently pulled Jiang Fan closer. Jiang Fan found himself in Concubine Xianxia's arms in a Princess Carrie. The milky white spiritual liquid obscured the Demon Emperor's view. He didn't see Concubine Xianxia's actions. His attention was focused on areas other than Concubine Xianxia, the nascent soul energy emanating more strongly, making the spirit pond boil and bubble. Little did he know, Jiang Fan was nestled snugly in concubine Yunxia's arms, safe from the oppressive nascent soul energy. Jiang Fan was bewildered. His face felt soft, it moved, and he realized he was pressed against her chest. "Don't move! Move again and we perish together." Concubine Yunxia's voice rang out in his mind, laced with both shame and anger. Jiang Fan dared not move, obediently pressing his face back against her chest. Xianxia reacted as if she had been electrified, and an odd sound escaped her mind. Her face flushed visibly red. "Are you okay?" Jiang Fan whispered. Concubine Xianxia, unable to contain her embarrassment, replied, "Why you shut up? Don't say anything." "All right then." Jiang Fan remained still and silent. He just leaned against her naked bosom. Blub blub, the spirit pond bubbled like boiling water for a long time. The demon emperor, convinced it was merely his suspicion, withdrew his aura and laughed. "Xianxia, don't mind me. It's just that I care too much for you." With her back to him, concubine Xianxia was blushing furiously. But to avoid suspicion, she feigned extreme anger and coldly said, "Do you suspect that I'm with another man behind your back? This is your demon emperor palace, your harem. What are you worried about?" The demon emperor did not deny it. He said indifferently, "Better safe than sorry. I don't want to hear one day that my woman has betrayed me." Concubine Xianxia snorted coldly. "And if she does," the demon emperor narrowed his eyes, "I will kill her and her entire clan. Leave no one alive. Xianxia, don't disappoint me." Having said that, the demon emperor stepped into the void and completely disappeared. Concubine Xianxia was utterly stunned. She stared blankly at the pool, filled with broken flower petals, feeling as though a giant stone had pressed down on her heart. Until a big bubble emerged from her chest. She was jolted back to consciousness. Only then did she realize Jiang Fan's face was still pressed against her chest. Frightened, she hurriedly pushed him away. "Leave. Go now, don't let me see you again," Concubine Xianxia said urgently in her mind, uncertain whether it was out of embarrassment or fear of what the demon emperor had just said. Jiang Fan gasped for air. Thankfully, the demon emperor had left, otherwise his cover would have been blown for sure. "Thank you for saving me, Concubine Xianxia. Today's incident, I know, heaven and earth know." Although Jiang Fan was usually thick-skinned, he felt a bit guilty. Earlier, it had indeed put Concubine Xianxia in a difficult situation. Such a chaste person had to perform such a shameful act. He took out a blood bodhi and placed it in front of her. Then decisively, he used his thunder and lightning divine power to leave swiftly. Concubine Xianxia stared blankly at the blood bodhi but couldn't feel happy at all. A deep sense of shame surged within her. She couldn't believe it. She had hugged another man while blaming the demon emperor for suspecting her. Wasn't this the type of woman she despised the most? How had she become like this? "Jiang Fan, I don't want to see you anymore." Concubine Xianxia covered her face, on the verge of breaking down. Every time she met Jiang Fan, something embarrassing happened. This time was even more humiliating for her. "I'll return to the Silver Fox tribe tomorrow. I don't believe even there I could run into you." The Silver Fox tribe was in the far north of the demon race. To the south lay the boundless snowfield. To the north, the vast, desolate sea. It was a very remote place and would take 3 days to reach. If she still ran into Jiang Fan there, she would accept her fate. It would mean Jiang Fan was her destined nemesis. She couldn't shake him off no matter what. Speaking of Jiang Fan, he quietly returned to the Liu Li Palace. He stood in front of the secret room wall, dazed for a long while. His mind involuntarily replayed the soft sensation. For Jiang Fan, who had never been in such close contact with a woman, it was like opening a whole new door. After a long while, he suddenly snapped out of it. Shaking his head vigorously, he said, "Jiang Fan, what nonsense are you thinking? Concubine Xianxia is someone you can touch. Moreover, the top priority is to find a way to escape from the demon race. How can you think about this?" He calmed his mind and began to carefully analyze the reason for his failure in using the second layer of the cloud shadow. Such uncontrollable thunderbolts used while escaping could be fatal. After careful consideration for a long time, he couldn't identify the problem. His cultivation technique had no issue. It had reached the second layer of perfection. The power of thunder and lightning was smooth as well. Why couldn't he control the direction during instantaneous movement? Suddenly, Jiang Fan recalled that using the space scroll earlier had been affected by the 5 magnetic Yuan Mountain, bringing him to the southwest military camp of the demon race. He couldn't help but stroke his chin suspiciously. Could it be that my thunder instantaneous movement was interfered with by something? Thinking it over and over, Jiang Fan could only think of one thing as most likely. He took out the heavenly thunderstone and directed his gaze into it. There he saw a massive black circular stone, hundreds of feet in length and width, lying quietly within the heavenly thunderstone. The surface of the stone had indentations of varying depths. They were the wounds left behind by the ancient giant's absorption of the egg fluid over the millennia. He attempted to hit the giant egg inside the heavenly thunder stone with a surge of thunderbolt. An astonishing scene emerged. The power of thunder and lightning was absorbed by the giant egg. This confirmed Jiang Fan's suspicion. Most likely, it was the giant egg that had affected his purple thunderbolt earlier. "So it was you." Jiang Fan showed an intrigued look. "You are probably the descendant of an ancient sage. Your true spirit blood is a necessary ingredient for me to cultivate the Brahma Saint True Spirit technique." Thinking of the Brahma Saint True Spirit technique, his eyes burned with intensity. According to the cultivation technique, it was divided into the heavenly, earthly, human, and divine forms. To master each form, a kind of true spirit blood was needed, and mastering any one form would make one invincible in the core formation realm. Mastering two forms would bring about a golden body. The giant egg before him might help him master one form. Afterward, no one below the nascent soul stage would be a match for him. The six-path master appeared, clicking his tongue in amazement. At least the descendant of a sage. The purity of the true spirit blood is second only to the sage itself. However, this giant egg may not be easy to open. Jiang Fan was somewhat prepared for this. After all, it was the descendant of a sage. How could the protective shell be easily cracked? So he directly took the giant egg out of the heavenly thunder stone. Then he summoned the purple sword and slashed fiercely at the giant egg. The purple sword, which could cut through anything, had never disappointed Jiang Fan. No matter how hard or tough the giant egg before him was, it should be breakable. Slice. Indeed. Although meeting some resistance, the purple sword cut through, although it wasn't as easy as slicing other things. But it still cut through. However, the sword slit healing instantly by the mysterious power within the egg fluid. Had Jiang Fan not pulled the purple sword back quickly, it would have been trapped inside. Unwilling to accept this, Jiang Fan slashed several more times, but each time it was the same. The cut flashed for an instant and then healed, giving Jiang Fan no chance to extract the egg fluid. Jiang Fan, feeling exasperated, used various divine skills. Palm techniques, finger techniques, thunder techniques, and even the 5 magnetic divine light, apart from the nascent soul jade token. Every possible technique was used once by Jiang Fan. He panted heavily. The giant egg, however, remained unchanged. Jiang Fan's face darkened. "I can't even damage it." The six-path master was speechless. "The treasure is in front of you, but you can't get in. Isn't that just the case here?" Angered, Jiang Fan punched the giant egg and said, "Damn it! I took a big risk for nothing." After all, he had stolen food from the ancient giant's mouth, and all he got was this, at this moment. The giant egg began to tremble, emitting flickering light. Within it, the shadow of a giant creature could vaguely be seen. Then, a thin crack appeared on the eggshell. A strand of egg fluid containing a trace of essence blood trickled out. The crack quickly closed up, returning to its original state. As if nothing had happened, only that strand of egg fluid slid down the eggshell. The six-path master muttered in astonishment. "Why do I feel as if this giant egg is mocking you, seeing you struggle for so long without breaking it? So it pities you with something." Jiang Fan's face was already as black as it could get. "Drop the seams. This guy is mocking me." He was holding an ancient heart mirror in his hand. When the projection appeared, Jiang Fan had immediately pulled out the ancient heart mirror to see if he could read the thoughts of the giant egg fetus and perhaps gain some information, but who knew what he heard made him furious. "Oh, what a powerful little brother. Such impressive maneuvers, and in the end it amounts to nothing. Heh." This sarcastic mockery was infuriating. Jiang Fan kicked the giant egg. "You damned egg. Do you believe I'll send you back to the ancient giant? Let him suck you dry, this brat, not even hatched yet and already so annoying. What will happen when it comes out? Send me, go ahead, send me. If you send me, who will give you the true spirit blood? Do you think I'm afraid of you?" At this moment, the six-path masters were also probing the ancient heart mirror. Upon hearing this, they were fuming. "Blast it, this brat is truly asking for a beating." Jiang Fan's forehead veins were throbbing. He had already mentally cursed its mother several times. What kind of ill-bred offspring is this? So disliked by everyone. "Just you wait," Jiang Fan said with a dark face. "One day I'll smash your eggshell and suck you dry of your true spirit blood." The giant egg responded nonchalantly. Don't just talk. Get on with it. I'm waiting for you to suck me dry. Do you even have the skill? HMPH. Damn you. The six path masters lost their cool. Jiang, let me out. I'll enter the egg with my soul and give this little bastard a good beating. Not an ounce of manners. Jiang Fan gave him a sideways glance. If you want to run, just say so. No need for all these schemes. Your schemes are splashing right onto my face. Jiang Fan looked at the arrogant giant egg, then shifted his gaze to the empty little temple on his back. The temple was filled with bursts of yin qi, continuously flowing outwards. The secret room was now so filled with yin qi that it felt chilly. After glancing at the ancient heart mirror, Jiang Fan pondered. Six Path, was this ancient heart mirror once placed inside the little temple? The Six Path masters nodded. That's right. It was enshrined in the temple like a deity. As soon as I took it out, that bastard tiger demon emperor ambushed me from behind. Lucky I was quick. Jiang Fan didn't bother listening to his ramblings. He leapt onto the giant egg and put the ancient heart mirror back in place. In an instant, the giant egg trembled violently, as if suppressed by some force. Mournful howls came from inside the egg. Spare me, little brother, quickly take that mirror away. I beg you. The brat immediately surrendered, his previous unruliness gone. Jiang Fan nodded slightly in satisfaction. It seemed the ancient heart mirror indeed had a suppressive effect on the giant egg. But then again, wasn't this giant egg descended from a sage? Why would it need to be suppressed? Too lazy to investigate further, Jiang Fan chuckled. Still feeling smug. No, I was wrong, little brother. Please spare me. Shall I imitate a cat for you? Meow, 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 meow. Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. This brat certainly knew how to be tactful. Jiang Fan said, I want your true spirit blood handed over. All right, I'll give it to you. The giant egg was very cooperative. It cracked open again, releasing a large amount of egg liquid and essence blood. Jiang Fan quickly used a jade box to collect it, filling it to the brim. However, the egg liquid was abundant, but the essence blood was pitifully little. Is this all the true spirit blood you have? Who are you trying to fool? The giant egg showed a painful expression. Little brother, I've been sucked dry by that ancient giant for 1,000 years. How much true spirit blood could I have left? This is already most of what I have. I've only kept a tiny bit for myself, just enough to barely maintain life. After I recuperate for a while and my true spirit blood is replenished, I can give you some more. Jiang Fan didn't really doubt it. That ancient giant could suck a large amount of essence blood in one gulp. If it had sucked for 1,000 years, it would be strange if much essence blood was left. Forcefully taking all the true spirit blood from the giant egg now would be like killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. How can I help you recover quickly? Jiang Fan asked. The giant egg was delighted. It's very simple. Just give me some of that power of thunder and lightning from earlier or other natural forces. Jiang Fan took back the ancient heart mirror, ending the conversation. Let's pretend I didn't ask. He himself lacked the power of thunder and lightning, so where would he get some for a damned egg? He stored the giant egg back into the heavenly thunder stone. Jiang Fan then carefully extracted the essence blood from the egg liquid. The dark red essence blood was crystal clear without any impurities, like blood jade. An astonishing spiritual pressure slowly emanated from it, to the point that Jiang Fan's own blood was affected, boiling violently in response. The previously seen tiger demon emperor essence blood was insignificant compared to this true spirit blood. He secretly clicked his tongue. Could this true spirit blood really be consumed? When he swallowed the tiger demon essence blood, Jiang Fan was already in excruciating pain. This true spirit blood, wouldn't it turn him into ashes instantly? After a brief hesitation, he operated the Brahma Saint True Spirit technique, following a specific path of internal energy. At the same time, he dissolved this wisp of true spirit blood into the spiritual liquid, divided it into 100 small jade bottles. Diluted 100 times, it should be fine, right? Jiang Fan muttered. He carefully took a sip. Just this one sip almost burned Jiang Fan's mouth. He felt he wasn't swallowing a bottle of water, but boiling magma. The pain was unbearable to a normal person. Jiang Fan, who had endured so much pain in his body refinement journey, could barely stand it. He almost spat it out. But thinking it was a shortcut to becoming stronger, he endured the excruciating pain and swallowed it. The pain spread from his mouth to his throat, then to his stomach, and finally to his organs. Black smoke rose from his body, as if he were about to burst into flames. The Six Path Masters were startled. Boy, are you okay? If not, let's stop training. This body refinement technique is a bit frightening. You're starting to smoke, the Six Path Masters had seen a lot. In the outer domain, body refiners were not as rare as in the Nine-Sect land. He had seen quite a few, but someone training as extremely as Jiang Fan, it was the first time he had seen. This was practically betting his life on training. Jiang Fan gritted his teeth and continued to operate Brahma Saint True Spirit technique. But instead of alleviating the pain, it intensified. The pain was so severe that he nearly lost consciousness but kept persisting. After running through several cycles, he finally lost consciousness and fainted on the spot. He woke up shaking some time later. His eyes still showed traces of pain. The medicinal effect of the wisp of true spirit blood was still there, just not as intense as before. Boy, stop it. Using true spirit blood like this, I am worried you won't be able to withstand it. The Six Path Masters advised. Passing out from training, it must be excruciatingly painful. Jiang Fan gritted his teeth and picked up the unfinished bottle, drinking it in one gulp. He had too many things to do, too many people waiting for him. He couldn't die in the demon race. He must strengthen every bit of his power. Striving to escape the demon race? Who with another gulp of the 100 times diluted true spirit blood? Jiang Fan spat out a blood-red mist like flames. A lot of black smoke rose from his whole body, on the verge of catching fire. But Jiang Fan continued to run the Brahma Saint True Spirit technique recklessly. Soon after, he fainted from the pain. The Six Path Masters fell silent. After a long time, he sighed. This determination, how many prodigies in the outer domain can compare? If someone protects him, surely there will be a place for him in the outer domain. Thus, Jiang Fan fainted from excruciating pain repeatedly getting up to resume training. 5 days passed. Jiang Fan drank the last bottle of diluted spiritual liquid. He still felt pain but didn't even frown. 5 days of hellish training had greatly enhanced his endurance. Ordinary pain could no longer cause him to faint, and such reckless effort finally paid off. He extended his arms and softly shouted, "God Lord Vast." Liquid golden auras seeped out from within his body. They intertwined behind his back. As more and more auras gathered, in the end, they interwove into a 10-foot-tall golden phantom with a blurred face. It was exceptionally valiant, radiating golden light all over. With 8 arms spread out, it emitted a world-shaking brilliance, like an 8-armed deity, as Jiang Fan thrust his palm forward. The 10-foot-tall deity phantom moved. Among the 8 arms, 2 followed Jiang Fan's movements. 2 blasts of golden energy shot out in an instant. Boom! The stone door of the secret chamber was shattered to dust by the golden energy blast. The energy did not lose its momentum, piercing through the walls of the palace, shooting through the expanse of the Demon Emperor Palace, and into the thick demon cloud in the sky. In the demon cloud, the demon emperor, who was sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened his eyes. He raised his hand and caught the 2 dimming golden lights in his palm. A tingling sensation hit his skin. The demon emperor narrowed his eyes. What is this? Such domineering force? He stood up, following the residual golden traces, and looked towards Liu Li Palace. Jiang Fan, what is he cultivating? A flicker of uncertainty passed through the demon emperor's eyes. This cultivation technique intrigued him, considering he still needed to cooperate with Jiang Fan for now. He closed his eyes and resumed his cross-legged position. In the secret chamber, Jiang Fan stared at the shattered stone door, the collapsed palace walls, and the golden traces extending to the horizon in the sky. He was stunned. The Six Path Masters inhaled sharply. Kid, what kind of bizarre thing have you cultivated? The power of this palm strike, there's hardly anyone below the 9th layer of core formation who can withstand it. Jiang Fan remained silent for a long time. The divine image he had cultivated, which was one of the 4 symbols. Limited by the true spirit blood, he had only cultivated it to a minor success. Yet this power still shocked Jiang Fan. The deity phantom behind him had only extended 2 arms. If all 8 arms were to strike simultaneously, what kind of power would it have? Jiang Fan even thought. Unbeatable at the core formation realm was a conservative estimate. Against someone in the nascent soul realm, he might still have a fighting chance. His eyes burned with intensity. If he could obtain more true spirit blood and cultivate the divine image to perfection. In today's world, he could absolutely walk with an unrivaled presence, fearing no enemy. Jiang Fan, what are you up to? The commotion was so great that Liu Li, in a distant secret chamber, was alarmed. She was slightly annoyed. What if you scare our child? Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. Suddenly, Jiang Fan noticed a jade box with egg liquid. This was spiritual liquid used to nurture the offspring of demon race sages, harmful to humans but invaluable to the demon race. He poured a small bottle and said, "Then drink some of this." Liu Li instinctively took it, and as she smelled the egg liquid, she felt instantly invigorated. A deep-rooted longing from within shocked her. "What is this? It seems extraordinary." Oh, Jiang Fan was surprised. Liu Li was the daughter of the demon emperor. She had seen all sorts of wondrous items, for it to make her lose her composure. This egg liquid's importance to the demon race seemed even more valuable than expected. "It's a fetus protection medicine I concocted. Drink it," Jiang Fan said casually. Fetus protection medicine. Liu Li thought it didn't quite look like it, but her intuition told her this was definitely good. Without much hesitation, she drank it all on the spot. It tasted cool and smooth, and a mysterious power permeated through her body. Crack, crack, her body underwent a qualitative change. Her demon race aura jumped from the 5th layer of core formation straight to the 6th layer, then from the 6th layer to the 7th layer, finally stopping at the peak of the 7th layer of core formation. But that wasn't all. Her bloodline talent also enhanced. A vague shadow of an ancient soaring snake flitted behind her. In the distant demon cloud, the demon emperor abruptly opened his eyes as if sensing something. A trace of astonishment showed on his face. "Who awakened the ancient bloodline?" He stood up and looked around. But the aura disappeared, impossible to trace. How could this be? In today's demon race, the ancient ancestors have been separated by thousands of years, their bloodline very thin. How could someone awaken an ancient bloodline? The demon emperor found it unbelievable. He even doubted if he had sensed it wrong. In Liu Li Palace, Liu Li slowly opened her eyes. Perceiving the massive changes in her body from inside out, she widened her eyes in disbelief. I reached the 7th layer of core formation, and my bloodline seems to have undergone a qualitative leap," she exclaimed joyfully. "Jiang Fan, what did you give me to drink?" "It's so miraculous," Jiang Fan calmly said. "I told you it's fetus protection medicine. Don't spread this around. I prepared all this for you if others come asking. Should I give it or not?" "Of course not," Liu Li anxiously said. "It's for our child. If you dare give it to others, I'll tear you apart." Such a miraculous fetus protection medicine. She, as the mother, gained so much from it. She couldn't imagine the extraordinary benefits their unborn child would receive if she continued drinking it. Could the child be born already at the late stage of core formation, or even the nascent soul realm? Thinking about it made her eyes sparkle with light. She had no idea Jiang Fan was even more shocked than she was. The effect of this egg liquid was even more miraculous than thousand-year clams. Besides greatly enhancing the demon race's realm, it could also awaken mysterious bloodlines. That fleeting vision of a purple soaring snake had been noticed by Jiang Fan. That bloodline was probably no less than the demon emperor's bloodline. If such a thing were known, even the demon emperor would fight for it. Hence, he lied to Liu Li, saying it was a fetus protection medicine. She was so protective of the child in her belly, more worried than Jiang Fan about outsiders knowing about this fetus protection medicine. "Fine, fine, all for our child." Jiang Fan laughed helplessly. Liu Li then felt reassured. She caressed her round belly, her eyes filled with maternal love. When she looked at him again, her gaze was no longer as hateful. She said softly, "At least you have the responsibility of a father. Since you got such precious fetus protection medicine for our child, I forgive you for the bad things you did to me before. However, this doesn't mean I accept you as my husband. From now on, we still sleep in separate rooms. We can only be nominally husband and wife." Jiang Fan shrugged. "Couldn't want it more." "You!" Liu Li gritted her silver teeth. This guy was acting tough. When he tormented her so badly that she couldn't get out of bed and got her pregnant, wasn't he vigorous and strong? Now he looked nonchalant. Heartless guy who turned ruthless once getting what he wanted. HMPH, just then, a maidservant of the demon race came to report. "Master Liu Li, Miss Ling Shu knew your confinement was lifted and invited you to decode the Tiger Demon Emperor's relic box." Liu Li huffed. "What decoding of the Tiger Demon Emperor's relic box? The whole box is covered in ancient demon language. No one can read it at all." "She knew I was going to marry a human, probably wants to mock me, huh?" She knew Ling Shu too well. As one of the demon race's 4 stars, Ling Shu had never respected her as the demon emperor's daughter, constantly competing with her. Now marrying a human, she had become the talk of the entire demon race. She must have laughed at her countless times. Jiang Fan's mind stirred slightly. An ancient demon language relic box from the Tiger Demon Emperor. Could it be a box that required deciphering ancient demon language to open? A vial of essence blood from the Tiger Demon Emperor was a holy object for body refiners. A box sealed with ancient demon language. Could it be simple? Jiang Fan was very interested. Firstly, he was already proficient in some demon race scripts. Perhaps he could unlock the relic box. Secondly, could this gathering be a temporary leave from the Demon Emperor Court? Could there be a chance to escape? This was a good opportunity to leave the demon race. However, Liu Li was very resistant. She seemed unwilling to go. Jiang Fan's eyes flickered slightly as he said, "Liu Li, don't go. Since this girl has bad intentions, let's avoid the confrontation for now. At worst, we'll be mocked by others. We'll pretend we didn't hear it." The first two sentences suited Liu Li very well, but when she heard the last sentence, her eyebrows furrowed. "What do you mean? I, the daughter of the Demon Emperor, am worried about her. Besides, why should I endure? Go back and tell her I will be there on time." Jiang Fan laughed quietly to himself. Provocation was something Liu Li couldn't resist. With his gaze turning, Jiang Fan said calmly, "How can that be possible? You are with child, what if the fetal energy is harmed? It's better if I accompany you." "What are you going for? Don't you know you would embarrass me?" Liu Li said angrily. Others were clearly mocking her for marrying a human clan member. If Jiang Fan went, wouldn't it embarrass her even more? The maid cautiously glanced at Jiang Fan, then said, "Miss Ling Shu also said, if Master Liu Li doesn't mind, she can bring her fiancé along. If she minds, just pretend she didn't say it so as not to trouble the master." Jiang Fan touched his nose. The green tea subtlety was overwhelming. It was completely tailor-made to Liu Li's personality. Sure enough, how could Liu Li bear this stimulus and said, "What do you mean by mind? What do you mean by trouble? Why is it very disgraceful to marry a human? Where is he lacking? I just want to bring him. Jiang Fan, let's go together." Under Liu Li's lead, Jiang Fan successfully left the Demon Emperor Court. He observed the surroundings of the Demon Emperor Court. It was similar to the Nine Sect. A large city cluster surrounded the Demon Emperor Court. For dozens of miles, it was all cities. To escape, one must traverse the city cluster at the fastest speed. Otherwise, with an order from the Demon Emperor Court, the city circle for dozens of miles would become obstacles intercepting Jiang Fan. However, before he could even plan his escape, the appearance of a massive tiger silhouette snuffed out his thought. The Sky-Devouring Tiger was guarding outside the Demon Emperor Court. When Liu Li came out, it sprawled on the ground. It extended its broken long tiger tail in front of Liu Li, like a bridge. Liu Li naturally stepped on it. The Sky-Devouring Tiger turned its head to Jiang Fan with a slight meaning. "Human clan, you can leave the Demon Emperor Court, but don't have any extra thoughts." "These are the Demon Emperor's words." Jiang Fan sighed. The Demon Emperor was indeed monitoring him. Once outside the Demon Emperor Court, he immediately noticed it and dispatched a Demon King to follow. "The Demon Emperor thinks highly of me." Jiang Fan shrugged helplessly. Under the Demon Emperor's watchful eye, it would be best not to think of escaping. To avoid even the qualification to leave the Demon Emperor Court being stripped away. Better to focus on figuring out what the Tiger Demon Emperor's relic box is about. The Sky-Devouring Tiger laughed. "I am protecting you. You are the common enemy of the demon race. What if someone in the city can't think straight and slaughters you?" Protection. It was surveillance, right? Jiang Fan fiercely stepped on the Sky-Devouring Tiger's broken tail and said, "Why is it not your tongue that's broken? You talk too much." The Sky-Devouring Tiger's eyes immediately gleamed fiercely. Its tail swung up, ready to whip Jiang Fan. Did this bastard not know how this tail was broken? Wasn't it his dangerous purple sword that severed it? "You will soon know how welcome you are among the demon race." The Sky-Devouring Tiger snorted, tossing Jiang Fan onto its back with a swing of its tail. With tiger steps, it arrived at a restaurant named Xianxia Building. From the outside, it looked very ordinary. It couldn't compare with any slightly better restaurant in the Nine Sect cities. But it was the only restaurant in the Demon Emperor City. The demons were not known for their elegance. Drinking was also learned from humans. This restaurant could run smoothly all because of the patronage of the demon nobles. The arrival of the Sky-Devouring Tiger. Naturally, it caused amazement among the nobles who came forward to pay respects. The 5 demon kings under the Demon Emperor, who would dare neglect even the owner of Xianxia Building. A half-bodied wolfess exuding war general-level aura came forward with a smile to greet. "Oh, what wind blows the Demon King here?" The Sky-Devouring Tiger could ignore others. but it was slightly polite to the half-bodied wolfess in front of it, saying, "The young master was invited to attend the gathering. I am responsible for protecting her." The half-bodied wolfess was the concubine of a demon king, and the Sky-Devouring Tiger had to give some face. "Ah, Master Liu Li." The half-bodied wolfess only then noticed Liu Li on its back, immediately smilingly bowing to greet. "Master Liu Li's presence makes this restaurant illustrious." The daughter of the demon emperor who would dare not give face. Suddenly, she noticed someone whose hands and feet were shackled sitting next to Liu Li. She couldn't help but be stunned. Who is this? Why are they bound? Recently, she had been out on a mission to slay wild beasts. She just returned last night. She didn't know what happened in the Demon Emperor Palace recently, nor did she recognize the person before her as Jiang Fan. The Sky-Devouring Tiger glanced at Jiang Fan with a smile. "Do you want to introduce yourself?" Jiang Fan didn't mind, saying, "If you don't fear trouble, introduce me, why not?" After all, if it truly incited the demon's rage, the Sky-Devouring Tiger would fight to protect him. Because if Jiang Fan died, the Sky-Devouring Tiger wouldn't be able to explain to the Demon Emperor. He was more worried than Jiang Fan about problems. The Sky-Devouring Tiger's smile froze, its mouth twitching. No wonder the Demon Emperor cautioned that this person was cunning and to not underestimate him. This was indeed true. The half-bodied wolfess looked slightly surprised. "Demon King, whose noble son is this? Could he be of great identity?" The Sky-Devouring Tiger had no choice but to cough and say, "He is an honored guest. Just treat him well and do not ask more." The half-bodied wolfess was solemn. Immediately she bowed. "Young master, I have been rude. Welcome to Huakui Building." The surrounding nobles also showed respectful expressions. To have the Sky-Devouring Tiger say honored guest clearly showed an extraordinary identity. The group of people showed respect and warmly welcomed Jiang Fan amidst the lively scene on the second floor's private booth. Before a window that opened, a pretty girl rested her snowy chin on her hand, her mouth with a slight smile quietly observed Jiang Fan. The gentle breeze came. Her long hair brushed her shoulders, her sleeves gently fluttering. She looked very much like that girl who turned and smiled on the treeland path that year. She gently sighed. "The human clans, Jiang Fan, so welcomed by our demon race. It's really unexpected." With these words, the lively scene fell silent for a moment, as if ice was thrown into boiling water. The nobles were all stunned. "Jiang Fan? This shackled person was Jiang Fan?" Immediately their eyes burst with immense anger. "You turn out to be the human clan's Jiang Fan. Damn it, our dead spirit army of over 10,000 was defeated by you. The 10-star were all trampled under your feet, bringing us demons much disgrace. How dare you show yourself? I mistakenly treated you as a noble and even saluted you. Beat him to death." The half-bodied wolfess's face suddenly darkened, saying, "Sky-Devouring Tiger, Demon King, what do you mean by bringing this man to my restaurant? Do you want my Huakui building to endure the contempt of the demon race together?" The Sky-Devouring Tiger looked up at the girl. Liu Li also angrily looked over. Seeing the girl's faint smile, Liu Li gritted her teeth. "Ling Shu." The young girl was not someone else. She was the initiator of today's gathering, one of the 4 outstanding heroes, Ling Shu. Beside her walked a man with yellow scales on his forehead, whose aura was no less than hers. It was none other than one of the 4 outstanding heroes, Hun Yuan. "By doing this, you are offending both young Master Liu Li and the Sky-Devouring Tiger Demon King." Hun Yuan frowned slightly. He didn't think exposing Jiang Fan and putting him in danger was a good idea. There are countless clansmen who want to kill Jiang Fan. If he dies here and the Demon Emperor pursues it, you'll be in trouble. No matter how much shame Jiang Fan brought to the demon race. He was now the Demon Emperor's son-in-law. He could not afford to fail. If an accident happened, both the direct and indirect culprits wouldn't escape blame. Ling Shu rested her chin in her hand, the smile never leaving her face. "What are you worried about? Would the Sky-Devouring Tiger Demon King allow such a thing to happen? Jiang Fan won't die. He will just be a little embarrassed." She waved at Liu Li, who was looking angrily at her with a smile. Embarrassed, more like completely humiliated. Hun Yuan looked at Jiang Fan, surrounded by hundreds of demon aristocrats. His scalp tingled. Even with the protection of the Sky-Devouring Tiger Demon King, it would be very difficult for Jiang Fan to come out unscathed. After all, he had provoked public outrage. In a mass attack, even the Sky-Devouring Tiger wouldn't be able to block them all. Bruised and battered was inevitable. He glanced at Ling Shu's handsome profile and clicked his tongue. "You women, when you fight, you're really ruthless." Ling Shu was not targeting Jiang Fan. She aimed to embarrass Liu Li. Before the gathering even started, Liu Li's man would be in utter disgrace. How would Liu Li save face? Ling Shu smiled faintly. I'm just feeling Liu Li's pulse. She is the demon emperor's daughter. Her husband must be a dragon among men. If he can't handle such a small scene, how can he support her in ruling the demon race in the future? The words sounded beautiful, but the gleam in her eyes betrayed her true thoughts. She was eagerly waiting to see Jiang Fan make a fool of himself. She didn't believe Jiang Fan had any good way to escape. Humiliation was inevitable. The Sky-Devouring Tiger Demon King looked around with his tiger eyes and shouted, "What are you doing? Want to rebel? This is the Demon Emperor's chosen son-in-law. What do you want to do?" After all, he was a demon king. His aura was intimidating, and his words immediately quieted the crowd for a moment. Only the she-wolf stood defiant, leaning against another demon king. She wasn't too afraid of the Sky-Devouring Tiger. With a stern face, she said, "Sky-Devouring Tiger, if you want to protect this human, I can't stop you. But in my Huey building, he can't come. He's not welcome." The Sky-Devouring Tiger was at a loss for words. He looked to Liu Li for instructions. Liu Li was now extremely embarrassed. She really wanted to turn around and leave. By the window on the second floor, Ling Shu watched her with a half-smile. If she left, wouldn't that mean she admitted defeat? But the she-wolf was determined not to let Jiang Fan in. How could Liu Li force her way in? It was just that Jiang Fan had provoked too much public anger. She turned her head and said to Jiang Fan, "You go back with the Sky-Devouring Tiger. I will attend the gathering alone." Jiang Fan had already come all this way. How could he leave so easily? Moreover, if they wouldn't let him in, he was determined to go in. Jiang Fan said calmly, "This restaurant is open for business. If they don't welcome guests, why keep it open? I might as well tear it down for you." Boom, the she-wolf slapped her palm on the ground, cracking it with multiple fissures. "Tear down my restaurant? Who gave you the guts?" Unbelievable. This Jiang Fan had no sense of being surrounded, and his words completely enraged the restless aristocrats. Among them were people from the tribes of demon kings. They had already given face to the Sky-Devouring Tiger earlier. Now Jiang Fan was so reckless, they couldn't tolerate it anymore. "You dog, you're looking for death." A war king in the 6th level of core formation, powerful and strong, made a move. He swung his fist hard at Jiang Fan, but before he could get close, he was sent flying by a tiger tail. The Sky-Devouring Tiger roared, "I want to see who dares to move." But public anger had already erupted. With one person taking the lead, the others started to attack. Their strengths varied. The strong ones were in the 6th level of core formation. Some were not even beast kings. Regardless of strength, they all fought. The Sky-Devouring Tiger glared angrily at Jiang Fan. "If you know you have stirred public anger, why act so arrogantly?" These attacking demon race members were all aristocrats. He couldn't strike hard. He could only control his strength to drive them back. Seeing the Sky-Devouring Tiger holding back, the demons who were hesitant before now had no more scruples, joining the fray and venting their anger. The scene became chaotic. Multicolored fist winds, bizarre bloodline talents, uneven power spots all aimed at Jiang Fan. The Sky-Devouring Tiger used its powerful demon power, struggling to cope. Jiang Fan, however, remained calm. Not only was he unafraid, but he also counterattacked from time to time. Regretful Dragon, 5 Thunder True Heaven Technique, Void Flow Thunder Force. Demons were frequently hit, screaming in pain. When they angrily attacked Jiang Fan, he hid behind the Sky-Devouring Tiger's ear. This was a game. He could hit them, but they couldn't get him. The attacking demons roared in anger. "Shameless thing, dare to face us one-on-one? Hiding behind a demon king, what kind of man are you?" Jiang Fan curled his lips. Only a fool would come down. He attacked without hesitation, hitting a group at once. "Human, stop!" At this moment, the she-wolf let out a furious roar, because she noticed. Jiang Fan, this scoundrel, every move was aimed at the restaurant. Each residual strike hit the restaurant, either breaking a door hole, smashing a corner of the wall, or shattering a window. The guests in the building panicked and fled. Now business couldn't continue. Jiang Fan said helplessly, "Fists and feet have no eyes, can't blame me." Then he struck again at another demon. The residual palm power directly took a chunk off the roof. "Jiang Fan," the she-wolf gritted her teeth. She saw it. This guy was intentionally dismantling her restaurant, revenge for her refusal. "Stop, I'll let you into my restaurant, is that good enough?" The she-wolf compromised. In this chaos, the demons might at most get some minor injuries. They could stand up and brush it off. But she was taking real damage. The Huakui building was her decades-long effort. If it got destroyed, she'd have nowhere to cry, but you'll have to find a way in yourself. If you can't get in, don't blame me, the she-wolf added. Jiang Fan finally stopped his attacks and smiled. You should have said that earlier. Liu Li, let's go. Go. Liu Li looked at the tide-like crowd of demons surrounding them from all directions. Her eyes went blank. How do we go? Do we fly over? The demons below also roared in anger. That scoundrel still wants to enter Huakui building in front of us. If he gets in, I'll write my name backward. Here's my word, unless he grows wings, he can't step into Huakui building. Second floor box. Ling Shu smiled faintly. This is somewhat interesting. But does he think he can separate the angry demons without suffering? Could he possibly float in the air like a nascent soul? But in the next moment, her expression froze. Fan smiled slightly. He bent down to pick up Liu Li, then leaped down from the back of the Sky-Devouring Tiger, which was several dozen feet tall. The demon race below roared. He's coming down. Attack. Beat him to death. Don't let him go. The demon race surged in like a tide, ferociously attacking Jiang Fan. Countless light spots, fist winds, and leg strengths attacked. The combined power was so great that even the Sky-Devouring Tiger grew solemn. It was about to intervene to protect the two of them. Unexpectedly, a purple light flashed, appearing at Jiang Fan's feet. It gently held the two in suspension midair. Liu Li felt the wind whistling by, her heart pounding with fear. Are you trying to get us both beaten? But unexpectedly, the falling momentum suddenly stopped. She thought that the Sky-Devouring Tiger had caught them. But when she looked up, she saw the Sky-Devouring Tiger looking at Jiang Fan with a ghostly expression. The angry demon race below seemed to have witnessed something extremely terrifying. Everyone suddenly stopped attacking, their eyes full of doubt. The once tumultuous scene fell silent. Everyone stared intently at Jiang Fan because, at this moment, Jiang Fan was standing on a sword hovering in midair. Among the human clan, only one type of person could walk on air. That was a nascent soul great cultivator. All around was deathly silent. Only Jiang Fan remained calm and said lightly, "Let's go," with the command. In a whoosh, the purple sword at his feet carried them both straight to the window of the second-floor box. Ling Shu watched as Jiang Fan crossed the sky towards her. For a moment, she was stunned. She forgot to step aside. "Miss, do you not welcome us to the gathering?" A gentle voice fell into her ears. Ling Shu then seemed to wake from a dream, quickly stepping aside. Her mind was still a bit slow to turn. She couldn't believe what she had just seen. Sky crossing. The sky crossing that only a human clan nascent soul or a demon emperor could perform. Could it be that Liu Li's fiancé was also a nascent soul expert? But soon she came back to her senses. If Jiang Fan were a nascent soul, how could he have been captured? It must be because he had cultivated some kind of heaven-defying cultivation technique that allowed him to perform sword flight. But even so, it was still amazing. It was her first time hearing about a core formation martial artist being able to perform the methods of a nascent soul. Tap, Jiang Fan landed. He carefully helped Liu Li to sit down and said softly, "The child and you didn't get scared, right?" Liu Li's mind was blank for a while before she recovered. She was about to ask Jiang Fan what kind of heaven-defying method that was just now. Then she realized Ling Shu was beside her. She immediately sat upright, adopting a tone. "No problem. Just next time fly a bit slower and smoother. Such a simple sword flight, you've performed it like this. I really don't know how you usually practice." Jiang Fan held back his laughter. The moment Liu Li met her archenemy, she seemed like a different person. That tone, it really had that flavor. Ling Shu slightly pursed her lips. There was no doubt Liu Li had shown off fiercely in front of her. The plan was that Jiang Fan would come with a sullen face, causing Liu Li embarrassment. But the reality was quite the opposite. Jiang Fan's sword flight startled everyone. He brought Liu Li to the gathering in the most impactful way. Suppressing her displeasure, she smiled. "Liu Li, I am truly sorry. I was merely marveling at how popular your fiancé is. I did not expect such consequences." Liu Li sneered inwardly. "Damn you, green tea. If it weren't for Jiang Fan's skills, I would have been miserably tricked by you today." She smiled faintly, maintaining the grace of a demon emperor's daughter. "It's a small scene. My fiancé can handle it." Ling Shu silently ground her silver teeth, showing off endlessly. Fiancé, is flying with a sword so impressive. As if you're the only one with a man supporting you." She glanced towards Hun Yuan not far away. At this moment, Hun Yuan was curiously looking at Jiang Fan. That sword flight also astonished him. If these were not the sky-crossing methods of a nascent soul, then this was a swordsmanship beyond what the demon race knew. No wonder he could defeat Purple Star. This man indeed had some skills. Noticing Ling Shu's gaze, Hun Yuan looked over in confusion and said, "What's the matter?" Ling Shu replied, "Big brother Hun Yuan, besides us today there are also 10 star and an elder from the demon race. We must not neglect them. Prepare the feast in advance." As she spoke, her lively eyes blinked. The two were both among the 4 outstanding heroes and worked together often, so they were highly cooperative. After thinking it over, Hun Yuan understood her meaning. He couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth. Ling Shu, having been overshadowed by Liu Li, wanted to reclaim her face. "Women, Hun Yuan could only comply. He laughed heartily, "Of course." He took out the beast skin bag he carried with him. He took out blocks of ice of the same size. Inside, crystal clear fresh spiritual meat was frozen. He distributed them into each dining plate, introducing, "These are 10-year-old spiritual meat. We will serve them to our guests later. Master Liu Li, please don't despise them." Liu Li took a look, and they were all of superior quality, 10-year-old spiritual meat. They were only available at high-standard banquets. Such a reception was indeed high. Just then, Ling Shu sat down weakly and said, "Big brother Hun Yuan, I practiced boxing too long last night. My body is somewhat tired. I need a rest, so please entertain Master Liu Li on my behalf." Hun Yuan smiled wryly. He knew well that Ling Shu wanted him to support her and show it off to Master Liu Li. With no choice, he could only look troubled. "Sister Ling Shu, you have worked too hard for fighting the North Sea demon race recently. I've visited many tribes to find you some 100-year-old spiritual meat. Please eat it to recover." He took out a block of ice. Inside, the spiritual meat sealed in spiritual energy was evidently more abundant. The grade was much higher than what was on the dining table. Ling Shu looked surprised. 100-year-old spiritual meat? Big brother Hun Yuan, this is too precious. How can I accept it?" Hun Yuan chuckled. "This is just a token of my heart. If Sister Ling Shu rejects it, I will be quite sad." Ling Shu blushed, showing shyness. She responded bashfully, "Big brother Hun Yuan, if you put it that way, how can I refuse?" Then she turned her head to Liu Li. "Master Liu Li, this is so much 100-year-old spiritual meat, I can't finish it all. Let's share it together. I'm too embarrassed to eat it all myself." Liu Li felt furious inside. "Damn you, green tea. Is there a need to show off like this because a man gave you 100-year-old spiritual meat?" She said expressionlessly, "No need. I'm not hungry." Ling Shu felt delighted, continuing to provoke. "Liu Li, don't be so polite. You are the daughter of the demon emperor. Are you eating 10-year-old spiritual meat while I eat 100-year-old ones? If it goes back to the clan, the elders will scold me for being disrespectful." Click. Liu Li clenched her fists secretly. Her heart was burning with rage, but she couldn't lash out. 100-year-old spiritual meat was rare and hard to find, so she couldn't get another piece. She couldn't plan a performance with Jiang Fan in advance like Hun Yuan. In this round, she was at a disadvantage. Jiang Fan's eyelid twitched. They say 2 women can create drama, but this drama was too much. However, he couldn't just watch Liu Li get humiliated. If this little pepper had enough and flipped the table, they would have to leave. Then there would be no chance to see the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box. So he chuckled warmly, "Liu Li, Miss Ling Shu is right. 10-year-old spiritual meat is not worthy of your status. Especially since you are carrying our child, you shouldn't be mistreated. Don't eat this 10-year-old spiritual meat later. It's troublesome if it upsets your stomach." Li felt speechless. Isn't he overacting a bit? This is way too exaggerated, isn't it? 10-year-old spirit beasts were the best provision for high-end demon race banquets. Even the demon emperor often ate them. How could she, a demon emperor's daughter, be picky? And even claimed she would get food poisoning. Wasn't he afraid of making a fool of himself? Ling Shu was also stunned and couldn't help but laugh. She quickly covered her mouth and said, "Sorry, Ling Shu didn't mean to laugh. It's just the first time I've heard something like this. It's quite unbelievable." She said this, but the smile in her eyes couldn't stop. Jiang Fan saw Liu Li was losing, so he tried to lift her up, which was understandable. But to say that 10-year-old spiritual meat caused food poisoning, this statement was excessive, making others laugh at him. Hun Yuan's mouth twitched. This guy really dared to say anything. 10-year-old spiritual meat. He usually couldn't bear to eat it himself. The few pieces today were prepared painfully for the gathering. Yet Jiang Fan said it caused food poisoning. To belittle his stuff like this, he couldn't just ignore it. If you don't think much of 10-year-old spiritual meat, then you must have prepared 100-year-old spiritual meat for Master Liu Li, right? Why don't you take it out and let me see? Liu Li thought. Oh no, see? Saying big words, now he grabbed your weak spot to make an issue. If 100-year-old spiritual meat couldn't be produced, just prepare to lose face. 100-year-old spiritual meat. Jiang Fan pondered for a moment, then slightly shook his head. I don't have that. Liu Li's small face immediately collapsed. She glared at him resentfully. Muttering, you're killing me. She just got one up on Ling Shu with sword flight, and now she lost face. Hun Yuan pouted, so you don't have it. With such big words, I thought you prepared many good things for Master Liu Li. Ling Shu instantly felt relieved. The annoyance from being flaunted by Liu Li vanished. Her eyes turned, and she held that piece of 100-year-old spiritual meat, saying, Liu Li, it's okay. 100-year-old spiritual meat is rare. It's normal for your fiancé not to have it. Just don't say things that cause misunderstandings next time. If you really don't want to eat 10-year-old spiritual meat, we can share this 100-year-old spiritual meat. Share your head. Liu Li was secretly annoyed. If it got out that as a demon emperor's daughter, she hadn't seen good things and needed others to give her a piece of spiritual meat. At this moment, Jiang Fan spoke again. Liu Li, don't eat the 100-year-old spiritual meat either. Though it's a bit better than 10-year-old spiritual meat. It doesn't match our baby. Huh, Liu Li wanted to hit him. Why are you still at it? Isn't the previous statement embarrassing enough? Hun Yuan's mouth twitched. This guy, did he have something wrong with his brain? Ling Shu pouted, feeling a bit disinterested. Saying such foolish words once was amusing, but saying them twice it became boring. However, the next moment, a strong fragrance wafted over. It was the unique aroma of spiritual meat. For both the demon race and humans, it had irresistible allure. Is this the scent of spiritual meat? But why is it so strong? Hun Yuan followed the source of the fragrance in amazement. As a demon noble, he had seen a lot, and hadn't had less of 100-year-old spiritual meat. Once, at a demon emperor's banquet, he even ate 300-year-old spiritual meat. The taste, the aroma, he remembered it vividly. However, compared to the aroma before him, the memory's scent was insignificant. He even doubted whether what he smelled now was indeed spiritual meat. Ling Shu also looked up, curiously looking around. Uncertainly, she said, is this the aroma of spiritual meat? She had never smelled such a rich aroma of spiritual meat either. Soon, their eyes found the source. The palm of Jiang Fan. In Jiang Fan's hand was a small, green lotus leaf. On the lotus leaf was a piece of spiritual meat the size of an egg. Its color was crystal clear, like translucent crystal. The intense aroma spread around the whole private room immediately. Hun Yuan first recognized it, gasping, meat like crystal. This is the feature of legendary 1,000-year-old spiritual meat. Swoosh. Ling Shu stood up instantly, her beautiful eyes filled with disbelief. This turned out to be 1,000-year-old spiritual meat. Even the demon emperor had never eaten 1,000-year-old spiritual meat. Liu Li was also shocked. She opened her mouth to exclaim. Just as she opened her mouth, Jiang Fan used a spoon to scoop a piece of spiritual meat into her mouth. Stopping her speech, with a gentle smile, he said, if we're going to eat, we'll eat 1,000-year-old spiritual meat. From now on, you are not allowed to eat 100-year-old spiritual meat, and not even think about 10-year-old ones. Understood. Liu Li just woke up. She glanced at Ling Shu, who was full of surprise. Then she suppressed the stormy waves in her heart and slowly chewed. It tasted sweet and delicious in her mouth. The abundant spiritual energy quickly nourished her body, making her feel an indescribable comfort all over. If it weren't for the crowd, she would have moaned out loud. After eating, Jiang Fan smiled and asked, how does the 1,000-year-old spiritual meat taste? Liu Li took out a handkerchief, gently wiped her mouth, and picky said, the taste is okay. It's a bit dry. The texture is not great. Next time, change to another kind of 1,000-year-old spiritual meat. I don't like this one. Jiang Fan laughed inwardly. Outwardly, he complied, as you wish. Shall we throw away the remaining piece? Liu Li looked at the remaining half-piece on the lotus leaf, held back her desire, and nonchalantly said, it's just a piece of 1,000-year-old spiritual meat. Throw it away, why ask me? Jiang Fan nodded. Casually, he threw it out the window under the gaze of the three. At that moment, the Sky-Devouring Tiger was squatting under the window. Unexpectedly, something fell from the sky. He raised his tiger head, seeing it was a piece of meat, and exclaimed, who is so uncultured, throwing garbage around? But upon seeing it was 1,000-year-old spiritual meat, his tiger eyes widened. He caught it with his mouth, exclaiming, my God, spiritual meat fell from the sky, and it's 1,000-year-old spiritual meat. Thank you, heaven, thank you, living bodhisattva. inside the private room. The three living bodhisattvas were rendered speechless. Bodhisattva Hunyuan had the urge to spit blood. This was thousand-year spirit meat, for crying out loud. Liu Li and Ling Shu, those two women in a fit of pique, let someone else have it. He rubbed his chest vigorously, trying not to explode with anger. Bodhisattva Liu Li listened to the Sky-Devouring Tiger chomping away at the spirit meat. It ate while expressing gratitude to the heavens. Her small fists clenched tightly. She felt a pang of pain as she thought, just consider it feeding a dog. Bodhisattva Ling Shu felt incredibly distressed. She hadn't even tasted the thousand-year spirit meat before. But in Liu Li's eyes, it was trash. This comparison drove her nearly crazy. It also felt wrong to her. What was going on? In the past, she always had the upper hand during their confrontations, so why was she losing today? She cast her gaze upon Jiang Fan. There was a slight dissatisfaction in her eyes. This damn man, he was quite good at charming people. She rolled her eyes and said, Liu Li, you haven't properly introduced your fiancé yet. We only know he played a minor role in the battle at Boundary Mountain. Besides that, it seems like we haven't heard much about his achievements. Liu Li understood. Ling Shu was shifting her focus directly onto Jiang Fan. She intended to belittle Jiang Fan to embarrass Liu Li. Liu Li felt a bit worried, because no matter how skilled Jiang Fan was at sword flight, he was still a human disciple at the second level of core formation. Had it not been for their secret engagement and the demon emperor needing him to maintain his reputation, he wouldn't have been important at all. While she was unsure what to do, Jiang Fan smiled gently and said, Greetings to Miss Ling Shu. I am Jiang Fan. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the prince consort of the demon race, specially honored by the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Green Cloud Sect Master is my master. Desire's Sect Master and Spirit Beast Sect Master are my friends. Xia Keoj, the top prodigy of the Ninth Sect, is a close friend of mine. Su Qingyang, the top expert of the Ninth Sect, is my guide in the Sword Dao. The two Vice Pavilion Masters of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion are vying to take me as their disciple. In the battle at Boundary Mountain, I annihilated thousands of the dead spirit army, turning the tide. In the Demon Race Heartland, I twice captured concubine Xianxia. In the Demon Emperor Hall, I slew a 2-star and shocked the land. Ling Shu rubbed her forehead. She interrupted, saying, all right, I get it. You don't need to say any more. She couldn't find any flaws to criticize. His track record, any one of those accomplishments would blind people with their brilliance. Not to mention having so many of them combined. She couldn't find any faults at all. Even Hunyuan fell silent. He never underestimated Jiang Fan but didn't think he was inferior either, until Jiang Fan's self-introduction left him dumbfounded. Jiang Fan was virtually invincible within the Ninth Sect. He was protected by the top expert of the Ninth Sect above, had sect master mentors and friends in the middle, and the top prodigy of the Ninth Sect as his close friend below. With the future paved by the 4 Vice Pavilion Masters of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, his prospects were limitless. How could he compare to that? As he counted his own proud achievements one by one, he felt embarrassed to even bring them up for comparison. Liu Li was stunned too. She stared with wide eyes. No way was her fiancé this amazing. She recovered, her face glowing with pride, but she coughed lightly and said, Be modest. Talking about such trivial matters as if they were grand achievements. People might think you're showing off. Jiang Fan looked apologetic and cupped his hands towards Ling Shu and Hunyuan. A few minor accomplishments, forgive me for entertaining you both. Hunyuan's mouth twitched. Did you see me laugh? Those minor accomplishments, each one pierced his heart. Ling Shu offered a polite bow and said awkwardly, Young Master Jiang, you are too humble. It was my ignorance that I didn't know of your distinguished reputation. But she still didn't give up. Jiang Fan might be excellent, she admitted, but what good was that? What benefits could he bring to Liu Li? Her gaze shifted slightly and she softly said, Young Master Jiang, you and Liu Li are deeply in love. You must have prepared many surprises for her upon reuniting. Jiang Fan was human. His cultivation techniques or magical treasures were unsuitable for the demon race. He couldn't provide anything significant for Liu Li. Even if he married Liu Li, it would be hard to provide any help in the future. This natural disparity between their races was the reason Liu Li would be ridiculed for marrying a human, because marrying a human meant a loss. Jiang Fan looked embarrassed and said, We have not been reunited for long. In the future, I will do my best to help Liu Li. In the future. Ling Shu chuckled. Just preparing to taunt whether the future was tomorrow, next year, or 100 years later, Liu Li interrupted. Jiang Fan, don't be humble when you shouldn't be. Haven't you always treated me well? There was a faint hint of expectation in her eyes. In previous gatherings, she avoided attending whenever she could, no matter how much Ling Shu provoked her. This time, she agreed easily. The reason was simple. She had made a breakthrough. It was a leap in her cultivation. From far below Ling Shu's 5th level of core formation, she jumped to the 7th level of core formation. Strength had always been Ling Shu's greatest pride in front of Liu Li. It was her biggest asset, and the thing Liu Li most wanted to surpass. Now, she had also broken through to the 7th level of core formation. Ling Shu's pride had been completely shattered, so when Ling Shu asked that question, she was incredibly excited. The moment had finally come for her to show her true self in public. Oh, Ling Shu looked at Liu Li in surprise. Is that so? What benefits has he given you? Why not show us? Ha ha ha. She had hit the jackpot with that question. Liu Li was laughing inwardly but maintained a calm demeanor. Better not. I fear you won't be able to handle it. Heh heh. Ling Shu was unimpressed. How long had Jiang Fan and Liu Li been together? Even if he had resources useful to the demon race, could he transform Liu Li completely? Liu Li, you must be joking. If you have improved, your sister would be only happy. Why wouldn't I handle it? Show us, maybe I can even offer some pointers. Pointers. Humph, such arrogance. So what if you're at the 7th level of core formation? Tough luck. So am I. Liu Li sighed helplessly. All right then. I hope Sister Ling Shu won't be too surprised. With that, the energy within her surged. A powerful aura gradually spread out. At first, Ling Shu had a playful look, expecting to watch a good show. Slowly, her expression grew serious. Finally, when Liu Li's aura was fully released, Ling Shu's pupils dilated as she gasped. 7th level of core formation. How is that possible? Hun Yuan on the side was startled. In shock, he said, Master Liu Li, how did you break through to the 7th level of core formation? Weren't you at the 5th level of core formation? Had he seen a ghost? How could someone leap from the 5th level to the 7th level of core formation? Even the demon emperor didn't have such miraculous abilities. Liu Li withdrew her aura, flicked her flowing hair before her chest, and calmly said, Just a minor breakthrough. Forgive me for entertaining you too. Oh, you call that a minor breakthrough? Hun Yuan clutched his head, recalling how much time and effort he spent breaking through from the 5th to the 7th level of core formation. Compared to Liu Li, Jiang Fan's 5-day arrival had directly boosted her to the 7th level of core formation. He suddenly doubted his hard training. Suffering hardship wasn't as effective as marrying well. This world, it was too damn unfair. Ling Shu's mindset had also collapsed at this moment. Performance strength was the most reliable thing she had. The reason she dared to compete with the Demon Emperor's daughter, Liu Li, was simply because Liu Li, as the Demon Emperor's daughter, enjoyed resources far superior to everyone else. Yet she still wasn't as strong as her. It was precisely this sense of superiority and strength that gave her the confidence to rival Liu Li. Now, had Liu Li caught up to her overnight? This sudden realization was nothing short of catastrophic for her. How did you break through? Ling Shu couldn't accept it. Liu Li pursed her lips. Of course, it's because I have a good fiancé. He gave me a bottle of miraculous spiritual liquid as soon as we met. So I jumped levels and broke through. Sister Ling Shu, didn't you say you wanted to guide me just now? Her tone was full of irony. Guide? Even Ling Shu needed someone to guide her. Who on earth meets their fiancé and gives them such heaven-defying spiritual liquid? Why hadn't she ever met such a good man? Hun Yuan could no longer concern himself with the rivalry between the two ladies. He clasped his hands towards Jiang Fan and said, Brother Jiang, do you have any more of that spiritual liquid? I'm willing to exchange at a high price. Liu Li immediately panicked. Silently regretting that she had revealed such an important thing out of spite, she quickly beat Jiang Fan to the answer, No. I drank it all. Are you kidding? That was the fetus protection medicine for her child. How could she let anyone else have it? Ling Shu's eyes lit up. Yes, if she could also get some spiritual liquid, wouldn't she be able to surpass Liu Li in cultivation again? As for Liu Li saying she drank it all, they had been rivals for so many years, she could easily tell that was a lie. Jiang Fan must still have some, so she looked at Jiang Fan with a different gaze, and softly said, Brother Jiang, is there really no more of that spiritual liquid? Jiang Fan found it secretly amusing. Just now she had been targeting him left and right. Now she started calling him Brother Jiang. He shook his head and said, As Liu Li said, there's none left. The fewer people who knew about such heaven-defying spiritual liquid, the better. But this could hardly deceive someone as astute as Ling Shu. She sharply noticed that Liu Li became very nervous when Jiang Fan answered the question. A smile tugged at the corner of her lips. Indeed, there was more. It's just that since they weren't very familiar yet, Jiang Fan didn't want to give it to her, so was there even a need to spell out what to do next? All right. Ling Shu showed a look of disappointment, then turned to envy and said, Brother Jiang is such a warm person. So considerate to Sister Liu Li? Ling Shu really envies that. Liu Li frowned. She looked at Ling Shu with more caution. This woman. Could she be trying to steal her man? Having competed for so many years, she knew all too well about Ling Shu's tactics. Few men could resist after a few rounds of her tricks. Today's public display was enough. She also felt satisfied. It was time to leave. Jiang Fan, I'm tired. Let's return to the imperial court. She wouldn't give Ling Shu any chance. Jiang Fan was speechless. He had been so supportive of Liu Li just to see the Tiger Demon Emperor's relic box. And now that Liu Li was satisfied, she wanted to just walk away. After a slight hesitation, he said, Isn't a demon elder supposed to come? If we leave now before he arrives, wouldn't that be inappropriate? Liu Li frowned again. Why did Jiang Fan suddenly become disobedient? Could it be because one call of Brother Jiang had taken his soul away? But Jiang Fan's reason wasn't totally unfounded. She suppressed her discomfort and said, Then let's wait a bit longer. Ling Shu was delighted, her eyes shining with longing as she said, Brother Jiang, do humans always respect their elders like this? Ling Shu really needs to learn from your human clan. She seemed to be praising the human clan, but in reality she was praising Jiang Fan. Such tactful flattery was a social weapon. Even if Jiang Fan knew it was flattery, he wouldn't be annoyed. He nodded slightly and said, It's only proper. Ling Shu's eyes sparkled. Brother Jiang is so modest. You should sit here later. The seat opposite is for our demon elder. He is sure to like such a humble and polite human as you. She naturally arranged a seat for Jiang Fan, and right next to it was Ling Shu's seat. At this moment, it seemed she just realized Jiang Fan's movements were awkward. She exclaimed, Brother Jiang, why are your hands and feet bound? She quickly stepped forward. She tugged at the chains but couldn't pull them apart. Jiang Fan said, No need to try. This is the dragon binding chain. The key is with concubine Xianxia. Ling Shu showed a look of sympathy. When she saw the chain had chafed Jiang Fan's wrists to bleeding, she held his hands and blew on them gently, feeling pained. Brother Jiang, how could the demon emperor do this? He's taken you as a prince consort, yet still keeps you chained. If only I were the demon emperor's daughter, I would kneel and beg the demon emperor to set you free. I would never let brother suffer like this. Jiang Fan touched his nose. To be honest, he rather enjoyed it. She was truly but gentle, she was genuinely gentle. Bam Liu Li was so angry she slammed the armrest of her chair and shouted, Ling Shu, take your hands off him, blowing on Jiang Fan's wound right in front of her, snatching her man so blatantly, and subtly mocking her for not pleading with the demon emperor, causing Jiang Fan to suffer. Ling Shu was frightened and quickly let go, lowering her head in shame. I'm sorry, Sister Liu Li. I was just feeling sorry for brother. I forgot there are differences between men and women. Liu Li angrily said, Yes, I'm just a jealous tigress, only you feel sorry for brother, right? You damn green tea. She stopped pretending and directly tore into her. Normally, Ling Shu would retaliate tit for tat. But this time, she silently lowered her head. Tears streamed down, looking so pitiful. Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. He said, Liu Li, calm down, don't be angry. Ling Shu wasn't green tea at all. She was clearly a considerate and gentle good sister. Seeing Jiang Fan protecting Ling Shu, Liu Li got even angrier. Jiang Fan, what do you mean? Ling Shu was secretly delighted, tea-like tone. All right, Sister Liu Li. It's all my fault, don't blame brother. He is already very pitiful. Don't be fierce with him anymore. This appearance of only she feeling sorry for brother's green tea made Liu Li want to hit someone. Was she going to keep being tea indefinitely? Just then, footsteps echoed from the stairwell. A guest had arrived. Liu Li unwillingly hid her emotions. Ling Shu showed a slight smile of victory. This battle a small win. She looked towards the staircase. But it was a human, an elderly, hunched human. Even Jiang Fan was surprised. It was actually a human. Could it be a demon who looked very similar to humans? Upon closer examination, the person's aura was indeed human. How was the elder Ling Shu invited a human? Confused, Jiang Fan couldn't help but feel a sense of closeness. Having been among the demon race for so long, suddenly seeing a fellow human naturally evoked the feeling of meeting an old friend in a foreign land. However, he suddenly thought of something. His face turned grim. He stared intently at the old man. Ling Shu, can we now bring out the demon emperor's relic box? Traitor, what kind of human could still be at ease under the current backdrop of a human and demon clan's war? He thought of someone, the giant sect Supreme Elder, Fang Taiji, to surrender to the demon race to gain their trust. He killed his 7 elders, all just to surrender to the demon race. The old human in front of him must have done something extremely traitorous to the human clan. Only then would the demon race trust him, without any worry of him returning to the human clan. Ling Shu, quite respectful to him, stepped forward and greeted, "Elder Han, please take the seat of honor." Liu Li, also taken aback, quickly stepped forward. "Teacher, why are you here?" The old man in front of them was none other than the designated teacher arranged for Liu Li by the demon emperor Han Feidao. He taught her for 3 years. The course content included human language, culture, customs, and so forth. Besides that, he also taught Liu Li many life principles. Hence, Liu Li had great respect for this human teacher. In fact, Han Feidao was not only Liu Li's teacher, many tribes had invited him to teach their younger generations. At least 30% of nobility's children could be considered his students. As a result, his prestige in the demon race was very high. Few demons treated him like a human anymore. Ling Shu even called him one of the demon race's elders, showing her recognition of him. Han Feidao, over 80 years old, was frail and walked with difficulty. He seemed to have little cultivation, but his expression remained stiff, rarely smiling, giving off an unapproachable aura. "So Liu Li is here too." Han Feidao looked at Liu Li, sternly saying, "I heard you are going to marry a human." "Is that true?" Liu Li awkwardly, secretly glared at Ling Shu. This guy deliberately invited Han Feidao to suppress her, didn't he? Good thing she hadn't left just now. Otherwise, if she had been accused of neglecting Han Feidao, the demon emperor would have punished her again. "Teacher, this was all arranged by my father," Liu Li hesitantly said. Han Feidao snorted lightly. "Then go and call it off. Humans are just a filthy race full of schemes, selfish and devious. Marrying them would taint your demon emperor's noble bloodline." Ha! In front of Jiang Fan to belittle him and the human clan this way. How could Jiang Fan pretend not to hear? "Old man, you are called a teacher by the demon race, so you must be learned, right? Haven't you heard the story of Su Shi and the Buddhist monk?" It was only then that Han Feidao noticed there was another human present. With one look, seeing his human form and the chains on his hands and feet, he instantly knew who he was. His face immediately grew colder with disdain. "So it's you. Even in your presence, I must say, you do not deserve to be our demon race's prince consort. I will suggest to the demon emperor to cancel this marriage, to prevent you from tainting the royal bloodline of the demon race." My demon race, every other sentence. Jiang Fan found it grating to his ears, so he really ran into a human traitor. Jiang Fan chuckled. "One with a heart grounded in Buddha sees everyone as Buddha. One with a heart full of filth sees everything as filth. You think the human clan is filthy because you are filthy yourself." Han Feidao snorted heavily. "How presumptuous! You, a captive, dare to speak so arrogantly to me? Get out!" Ling Shu now had a headache. She had invited Han Feidao to suppress Liu Li. Unexpectedly, Liu Li was not suppressed, but instead there was a conflict with her dear brother. She hastened to mediate, softly saying, "Elder Han, yesterday I passed by your classroom and saw the couplet at the door. Though straightforward in form, it holds deep meaning, truly thought-provoking. The bow string breaks first, what was the second half again? I must have forgotten." She showed an embarrassed look. Han Feidao slowly said, "Each time the steel blade edge gets damaged." Ling Shu realized, "Yes, that's the one. Elder Han, your couplet was truly enlightening." Han Feidao's angry expression faded and he scolded playfully. "You are trying to praise me. This couplet advises patience. If you want me to be patient, just say it. Do you have to praise my couplet in such a roundabout way?" Ling Shu stuck out her tongue and laughed. "I was afraid Elder Han wouldn't listen to my advice." Han Feidao tapped her forehead, not hiding his fondness. "Such a clever little thing. Who wouldn't like a junior who spoke well and was clever?" He looked back at Jiang Fan, not as overbearing, but still showed no kindness. "I won't argue with a junior." Support by Ling Shu, he sat at the chief's seat. After settling Han Feidao, Ling Shu approached Jiang Fan, full of apology. "Brother, I'm sorry. I didn't expect it to turn out this way. It's all my fault." Every sentence reeked of tea, but it was fine. As long as there's no ill intention, what's wrong with a bit of tea? "It's not your fault. Is everyone here?" Jiang Fan said. Ling Shu said, "There's still Purple Star," before she finished speaking. The sound of hurried footsteps came from downstairs. Led by Purple Star, the 8 stars hurried over. Upon entering, they repeatedly apologized to Han Feidao. "Elder Han, teacher, sorry for the delay on the way." Han Feidao's face remained calm, not saying a word. Liu Li lightly scolded, "Purple Star, what happened?" Since you knew teacher was coming, why didn't you arrive earlier? You actually made teacher wait for you. If she didn't know, it was understandable. But since 10 Star already knew, how could they be so negligent? Purple Star looked distressed and cupped his hands. Master Liu Li, something strange happened in the city. Several people have gone missing one after another, so we were temporarily assigned to investigate. Oh. Liu Li was surprised. In the Demon Emperor's city, someone dared to cause trouble and capture demons. How could that be? However, this matter would be handled by the demon clan's strong ones. She believed it would be resolved soon. Quickly sit down. After the meeting, you will escort teacher back to prevent anyone from targeting him. Purple Star nodded, but they didn't dare to sit without permission, all looking at Han Feidao. Since there is a cause, sit down. Han Feidao's expression softened a bit, nodding slightly. He noticed Jiang Fan sitting opposite him, and an idea came to his mind. You all can sit next to Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan had done something at Boundary Mountain that had aroused the wrath of the entire demon race. The 10 Stars coming here, seeing their old foe, how could they let him off easily? Thus, Han Feidao deliberately pointed out Jiang Fan's identity. Upon learning that Jiang Fan was here, how could they not be furious? However, to Han Feidao's surprise, the room fell into a strange silence. The 8 Stars looked at each other, but none spoke up. Han Feidao was puzzled. No one dared to criticize Jiang Fan? This shouldn't be. Downstairs, the demons were still gathered, demanding to punish Jiang Fan. As the demon race's 10 Stars, why were they so calm? Then sit down. Han Feidao, failing to incite them, gave up. Who would have thought? Purple Star still didn't move. No one dared to sit over there. Who would risk their lives to sit next to Jiang Fan? He had slaughtered 2 Stars right in front of the Demon Emperor. Now that the Demon Emperor wasn't here, wouldn't killing come even more easily and smoothly to him? What's wrong with you all? Han Feidao asked puzzledly. Everyone acted so strange. Purple Star smiled awkwardly and said, Teacher, let's sit somewhere else. Han Feidao finally sensed something was off. He glanced at Jiang Fan with suspicion. Could it be that the 10 Star demons were afraid of a young human? Jiang Fan's hands and feet were tied up. Why would they be afraid of him? With a stern face, he said, Sit where I tell you to sit. Purple Star and the other 7 Stars exchanged glances. They eyed each other, reluctant to sit next to Jiang Fan, but no one dared to sit down. Han Feidao got angry. As a dignified teacher, couldn't he command his students? But what made him angrier came next. Jiang Fan frowned and said, Sit down, everyone. He was waiting to see what the Tiger Demon Emperor's relic box was. These people were late and now hesitated to sit down. This shout startled them into sitting down quickly. Purple Star reluctantly sat next to Jiang Fan, cupping his hands, and said, Prince Consort, you are here too. This scene made Han Feidao pause. His words had less effect than a young human's. He felt his face turned a bit red, snorted, and said, Not even a Prince Consort yet, already so eager to please him. Since when did the demon race adopt such flattery? Purple Star smiled bitterly. It wasn't Jiang Fan's identity as the Prince Consort he feared. The demon race valued strength above all. Identity was secondary. Otherwise, how could Ling Shu dare to compete with the Demon Emperor's daughter? But he didn't dare to mention the embarrassing incident of the 10 Stars being defeated to Han Feidao. He could only smile bitterly in silence. Seeing the atmosphere getting tense, Ling Shu quickly intervened. All right, it's rare for Elder Han and all the elite demons to gather in one place. How can we waste such a moment? She walked to the corner, brought a bundle wrapped in animal skin to the table. She removed the animal skin. A square black jade stone appeared before their eyes. Jiang Fan's eyes flickered slightly. What is this? Ling Shu, adjusting her skirt, sat next to Jiang Fan and said with a light smile, It's the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box. The jade box. Jiang Fan was momentarily stunned. This jade stone was a single piece with no visible seams. Besides its square shape, it didn't look like a box at all. However, upon closer inspection, he noticed it was covered densely with demon race script. The script was very ancient, vastly different from today's demon race language. This relic box was obtained when the Tiger Demon Emperor fell. For decades, we have not been able to decipher the ancient demon language on it. Today, we bring it out in the hope that everyone's wisdom can help unlock it. I specially asked the clan leader for permission, and those who successfully decipher it can keep 30% of its contents. Ling Shu looked around at the crowd, her voice sweetly introducing it. The crowd was intrigued upon hearing this. The old demon emperor near divinity transformation, Any little bit of legacy he left behind established the Sky Demon Emperor's supreme rule over the demons today. The jade box before them was so well preserved. What if it also contained such a legacy? Then, Liu Li, holding her belly, walked over and pulled Purple Star up. She sat on Jiang Fan's other side. She glanced at Ling Shu, who was seated close to Jiang Fan's left hand, then curiously looked at the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box. Before she came here, she had thought little of the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box. Now that she was here, she was more interested than anyone. Liu Li, as the Demon Emperor's daughter with vast knowledge, do you understand the demon script on it? Ling Shu provoked her as she moved closer. Liu Li gritted her teeth quietly. Just because she's the Demon Emperor's daughter, should she know ancient demon script? Every word is a jab at her. Everyone was watching. Liu Li didn't want to lose face. With an air of confidence, she said, "What's so difficult about these ancient demon script? Jiang Fan, tell them what it says." Haha, Jiang Fan secretly found it amusing. Was this a trap for her fiancé or to spite him? Fortunately, he really did understand it. "All right, let me take a closer look." Jiang Fan rotated the jade box, carefully examining the script on it. Seeing his serious demeanor, Ling Shu looked surprised. "Brother, don't push yourself. Liu Li was just teasing you." She didn't expect Jiang Fan could really understand demon race script. The main guest today was Han Feidao. Since joining the demon race, Han Feidao had devoted himself to studying demon culture. He didn't practice martial path. Instead, he immersed himself in various surviving demons' ancient books. After decades, because of his understanding of demon culture, if he claimed to be second, no one dared claim first. Not even the Demon Emperor might understand more than he did. As for Jiang Fan, he wasn't even on the invitation list. Jiang Fan said with a smile, "No problem. I happen to know a little about ancient demon script." Ah. Ling Shu opened her tiny mouth in surprise and delight. "Brother, you even know this?" Liu Li, on his left, was briefly stunned. Wasn't Jiang Fan really did understand? This guy, how could he be so versatile? Hun Yuan also looked incredulous. Too unbelievable. Jiang Fan could understand ancient demon script. Han Feidao had spent his whole life studying demons' ancient texts and didn't dare claim mastery of demon scripts either. Jiang Fan was only 18, and with such high martial arts achievements, he couldn't possibly have time to study demon script either. Han Feidao glanced at Jiang Fan in surprise and laughed, blatantly lying. "This is a script from Mui tribe, long lost in the river of history. Their last tribesman perished 400 years ago. Except for a sheepskin scroll in the Demon Emperor Palace that records a small amount of their script, their traces have long disappeared." Mui tribe. The crowd looked confused. Even the clever Ling Shu felt unfamiliar. If only our demon race could learn from the human clan. The human clan can pass down millennia of history uninterrupted. We demons, just 400 years and nearly no history remains. Jiang Fan glanced at Han Feidao with some surprise. Despite being a detestable human traitor, he did have some skills. He indeed recognized the demon's script. Jiang Fan nodded slightly. "It is indeed Mui tribe script. You actually recognize it?" "Ha." Han Feidao laughed in mockery. "Parroting what others say, if I mention a tribe, you just agree." He didn't believe Jiang Fan could be as proficient in Mui tribe's script as he was. The sheepskin scroll took him 2 years to decipher, cross-referencing numerous surviving demon texts. Even then, he dared only claim familiarity with the scroll's content, but couldn't recognize offhand script not on the scroll. Jiang Fan glanced at him coldly, frowning and said, "You read yours, I read mine." "Why so much nonsense?" Constant interruptions were annoying. "You!" Han Feidao was speechless with anger. He originally didn't want to argue with Jiang Fan, who would have thought this kid was so rude. "Like mimicking others, right? Fine, you decipher it first. Once you do, I'll announce the correct answer. I want to see how you fake it when I'm silent." Han Feidao get angry. The rest did not dare to speak. Although Han Feidao had a bad temper usually, it was rare to see him this furious. Jiang Fan really did anger him. Ling Shu rubbed her temples a bit wearily. These two were simply never on the same page. She vaguely understood the reason for this. One fought for the human clan and fell into the demon race, while the other betrayed the human clan and joined the demon race. Their stances were naturally opposed. Reconciliation was almost impossible. She could only stay beside Jiang Fan, silently accompanying him. She whispered, "Brother, just try your best. Ling Shu will always support you." Liu Li, on the other side, rolled her eyes. "Enough already," she also snorted softly. "There's no need for you to worry. Jiang Fan knows exactly what he's doing." But her words lacked confidence. After all, these were lost demon race characters forgotten for 400 years. Han Feidao recognized them through demon race ancient texts. How would Jiang Fan possibly know them? Hun Yuan also shook his head slightly. The ancient demon race characters on the jade box had been consulted by many elder demons in Ling Shu's tribe, all to no avail. If a human clan youth easily deciphered it, how ironic would that be? He could barely accept it if it were Han Feidao, this old scholar. Not long after, Jiang Fan finished reading the text carefully, suddenly enlightened. It really is a box. Ling Shu was surprised. Brother, did you really find something? Jiang Fan nodded slightly. I've deciphered all the content. Do you want me to read it to you? Ling Shu's eyes sparkled. Jiang Fan actually deciphered it. She nodded repeatedly. Brother, please go ahead, I'll take notes. Wait. Han Feidao leisurely put down his brush. He placed a sheet of rice paper full of characters face down on the table and pushed it to Ling Shu. I have also deciphered it. After he finishes his interpretation, you can read mine. To prevent Jiang Fan from spouting nonsense, Han Feidao wrote the correct translation on paper. When the time comes, they will compare the two. Everyone will see at a glance if Jiang Fan was bluffing. Ling Shu felt awkward. Wasn't this putting Jiang Fan in a tough spot? If Jiang Fan had not deciphered it or made grave mistakes, wouldn't he be embarrassed in public? But with Han Feidao watching, she could only take the paper and helplessly say, Yes, Elder Han. Jiang Fan seemed indifferent. He said, This is a mantra from the Mui tribe. Similar to how we humans use a space storage device, it requires a specific spell to open. The content is as follows. Jiang Fan's tone was calm and his enunciation clear. He recited the mantra word for word. The mantra had no particular meaning. Every line was composed of independent characters randomly put together. Ling Shu quickly took notes. When Jiang Fan finished, she put down the pen and said, Done. The others looked bemused. He had recited it completely. But was it not just gibberish? They looked at Jiang Fan with suspicion. Liu Li seemed a bit nervous. Could Jiang Fan really be making stuff up? Han Feidao had the correct answer on the side. When they compare, if there are significant discrepancies, Jiang Fan would be humiliated. Ling Shu felt uneasy, cautiously glancing at Han Feidao, unsure whether to compare the two mantras publicly. But she was surprised to find Han Feidao seemed a bit lost, staring fixedly at Jiang Fan, unblinking, deep in thought. After some contemplation, Ling Shu unfolded the paper, intending to read it first. If the differences were too great to hide, she would have to reveal it publicly. If there were minor flaws, she would cover for Jiang Fan. But at first glance, Ling Shu was astonished, because Han Feidao's writing was identical to Jiang Fan's speech. No, not entirely. There were several blanks in Han Feidao's translation. This meant he had not deciphered those characters and could not translate them. The rest was exactly the same. What did this imply? It meant Jiang Fan's understanding of the Mui Demon Clan characters was deeper than Han Feidao's. How could this be? Ling Shu, make it public. Why are you looking at it alone? Hun Yuan complained. Jiang Fan had been in the spotlight today, and it was a rare chance for him to be embarrassed. Was Ling Shu intending to cover for Jiang Fan? How could it be so convenient? Unbeknownst to him, Han Feidao, coming back to his senses, looked extremely awkward. He took 2 sips of tea, bowing his head in silence. Humiliated, it was utterly humiliating. He had mocked Jiang Fan for imitating clumsily. Who knew he was the one imitating? Jiang Fan's mastery of the demon race characters far surpassed his own. Not at all a mere imitator. When they compared the two mantras, everyone would see the difference clearly. Ling Shu's eyes sparkled. She put away the 2 pieces of paper. There's nothing to see. What they wrote is exactly the same. This way, Jiang Fan wouldn't lose face, and Han Feidao wouldn't either. Hearing this, Han Feidao felt slightly relieved. He looked at Ling Shu with even more affection, such a clever and considerate child. HMPH? Hun Yuan was displeased. Taking advantage of Ling Shu lowering her head, he snatched the 2 pieces of paper and slapped them on the table, saying, If they're the same, what's there to hide? Afraid your brother Jiang Fan will be embarrassed. As the 2 pieces of paper were made public, everyone's eyes fell upon them at once. However, upon seeing them, their expressions froze. Hun Yuan's words stopped abruptly. He widened his eyes. He looked at Jiang Fan's complete mantra, then he looked at Han Feidao's with several blanks. He even doubted if he mixed them up, but Han Feidao's vigorous handwriting could not possibly be mistaken. This, teacher. Hun Yuan realized then, Ling Shu wasn't just protecting Jiang Fan. She was preserving Han Feidao's dignity. He, in his arrogance, broke the pretense, leaving Han Feidao humiliated. Han Feidao's face turned ashen. He glared at him sharply. "Go inform your father. I'm visiting your home tomorrow." Ling Shu couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh lightly. Serves him right, trying to see Jiang Fan embarrassed, only to become the joke himself. Liu Li's face was full of joy. Jiang Fan's understanding of demon race characters was even higher than Han Feidao's. What else could he not do? Today, Jiang Fan gave her too many unexpected surprises. She had to completely see Jiang Fan in a new light. Even from the demon race perspective, Jiang Fan was an outstanding peer. Han Feidao's face alternated between green and red. He said, "Since the mantra has been deciphered. Ling Shu, you may open the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box." Ling Shu eagerly nodded. According to the mantra, opening the jade box required a jade scroll. She immediately took out an ancient-looking jade scroll from her bosom. This jade scroll was discovered alongside the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box. Unexpectedly, opening the jade box required both the jade scroll and the mantra. She pressed the jade scroll onto the jade box, then recited Jiang Fan's mantra word for word. Click in the silent booth, a subtle sound of mechanisms moving was heard. The Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box was reacting. Under the focused gaze of everyone, the whole square-shaped piece of black jade trembled slightly. The center of the jade surface slowly cracked open to reveal a neat slit. A metal handle slowly floated up from the slit. Then the jade box stopped vibrating. Ling Shu patted his thumping heart. According to the mantra, he grasped the handle and gently lifted it. The top of the square black jade, like a lid, was lifted. Jetting out was a stream of unknown white mist. Everyone cautiously stepped back. Liu Li and Ling Shu retreated simultaneously, mindful not to forget the disabled Jiang Fan. They both grabbed at Jiang Fan, intending to pull him to the back. But as they grabbed, they caught nothing but air. Only then did they realize. Before they had opened the jade box, Jiang Fan had already flashed to a corner. His body was covered in a layer of crystal, and he held the purple sword for defense, looking extremely cautious. Liu Li was taken aback, both amused and annoyed. "You're even more sly than a rabbit," while everyone else was curious about the jade box. Jiang Fan had already hidden away. Ling Shu shook his head in mixed amusement and exasperation. "Jiang Fan, you're too cautious, aren't you?" Seeing that the white mist was harmless. Jiang Fan put away the purple sword, but the crystal on his body remained. "I don't want to suffer from the Tiger Demon Emperor's relic again." A bottle of the Tiger Demon Emperor's essence blood had almost killed Jiang Fan on the spot. With such a precious relic box, he couldn't be too careful. Seeing it was fine, Jiang Fan approached the jade box. He peered inside cautiously. A snow-white pill, perfectly preserved. The white mist earlier had emanated from this pill. "A pill? Elder Han, what kind of pill is this?" Everyone was excited. Pills left by the Tiger Demon Emperor were undoubtedly not ordinary. It was precisely such discoveries that were hoped for during expeditions. Because their effects were straightforward, far more valuable than some documents or heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Han Feidao, also excited, leaned in to scrutinize it closely. But after a long look, he shook his head slightly. "I've never seen it before." "Ling Shu, put it away first. I'll check my records and let you know later." Ling Shu's face flushed with joy. The Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box indeed contained treasures. She reached out to grab it, but Jiang Fan smacked her hand away. "The cold dragon essence marrow pill, and you dare touch it directly. Don't you want your hand?" Ling Shu pulled back her hand in pain, exclaiming, "Oh, you recognize it again, brother?" This pill was filled with demon power, obviously a spirit pill of the demon clan. How did Jiang Fan recognize it? Jiang Fan remained silent. He casually grabbed a 10-year-old piece of spiritual meat from the table and tossed it toward the seemingly mundane snow-white spirit pill. The result, before it even got close to the pill shot out a startling snow-white cold air, freezing the spiritual meat into powder. Yes, it turned into powder instantly, without any pause. "Hiss!" Ling Shu was so frightened she hid behind Jiang Fan. Her face was filled with alarm. "Brother, why is this pill so dangerous?" The others were also scared and took several steps back. "If it accidentally hit a vital body part, wouldn't it mean instant death?" Jiang Fan said. "For demons not of the ice element, it's as lethal as poison. Not a trace can be touched." He then took out a jade bottle and used his spiritual power to place the cold dragon essence marrow pill into it from a distance. Sealed it with a mark afterward. "Next time, don't use your hands to touch it." Jiang Fan tossed the jade bottle to Ling Shu. Carefully accepting it, Ling Shu looked at the extremely dangerous pill in the jade bottle, showing a look of lingering fear. Good thing I have you, otherwise I would have been in danger today. She took the opportunity to latch onto Jiang Fan's arm, putting on a very scared expression. Jiang Fan smiled and said, "This pill, as long as you don't touch it directly, isn't dangerous. Unfortunately, you can't use it. It's for enhancing the Demon Emperor's cultivation. Core Formation Realm cultivators would surely die from using it." What? Enhancing the Demon Emperor's cultivation? Ling Shu was taken aback, never expecting that this pill had such great use. But thinking about it, since it was left by the Tiger Demon Emperor, it seemed reasonable enough. Ling Shu, after the gathering ends, go to the Demon Emperor court immediately and offer this pill to the Demon Emperor. Don't delay. After his initial shock, Han Feidao calmly instructed. Ling Shu was somewhat reluctant. Offering it to the Demon Emperor would at most garner a bit of reward. Selling it would surely fetch a handsome price. She looked to Jiang Fan for guidance. Jiang Fan pondered briefly and said, "Listen to him. Offer it to the Demon Emperor and do it quickly." The Demon Emperor was a suspicious and ruthless person. If Ling Shu kept this pill meant for the Demon Emperor, it would be hard for him not to suspect if she planned to sell it to the Beihai Demon clan, or whether her own clan was about to produce a Demon Emperor. To avoid such troubles, it was better to offer it proactively, and best to do so before the Demon Emperor got word of it. Otherwise, it would still leave a suspicion of hoarding the Demon Emperor's spirit pill. "All right, I'll listen to you, brother." Ling Shu seemed to understand the gravity of the situation. She decisively agreed. Everyone once again looked at the now empty jade box. Hun Yuan said, "Such a big jade box, surely there's more than one pill?" Apparently not. The compartment holding the pill was just one part of the jade box. There should be more below. But this time, everybody was more careful. Without waiting for Jiang Fan to retreat, everyone stepped back again. No one dared to open the lower compartment lightly. Jiang Fan shrugged and said, "Is it necessary? You're all such cowards." Liu Li's face turned red. "You have the nerve to say that?" Just now, Jiang Fan was the first to run away. Jiang Fan didn't hide this time. He came forward, pinched the edge with his fingers, and lifted it up. The second layer compartment was revealed. There was no danger. The jade box was meant for storing items, not as a harmful trap. Besides, if there were traps, they would have been triggered the first time it was opened. If set at the back with the opener already cautious, how could it still harm anyone? So it was evident there wouldn't be further danger. Seeing there was no danger, everyone quickly ran over. Upon looking, they saw a piece of jade-like white bone in the second compartment, engraved with Demon Clan characters. Jiang Fan exclaimed, "It's a Demon Clan cultivation technique, and a high-level, Earth-level one at that. Quite rare." It was the first time he had seen a Demon Clan technique. The Demon Clan excelled mostly in physical strength, with some able to activate innate bloodlines. So far, he hadn't encountered demons who practiced cultivation techniques. Unexpectedly, the Tiger Demon Emperor had left one. Ling Shu found it incredible. Our Demon Clan actually has cultivation techniques. How rare! Brother, what should I do with this technique? Should I also give it to the Demon Emperor? Jiang Fan said helplessly. My advice is, show the Demon Emperor everything discovered today. Otherwise, the Demon Emperor will be restless. With the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box opened, how could the Demon Emperor not suspect that it might contain treasures threatening his rule? Only by checking everything would the Demon Emperor be at ease. However, techniques are different from other items. You can transcribe a copy. Ling Shu nodded. She immediately produced paper and pen and transcribed 2 copies. Keeping one for herself, she handed the other to Jiang Fan. I made a copy for you too, brother. This made Hun Yuan's eyes red with envy. He had been close friends with Ling Shu for years. She never made him a copy. She just met Jiang Fan, and now her mind is full of him. Jiang Fan accepted it without hesitation, and then looked back at the jade box. From the remaining height, there was likely just one more compartment, and the most important items were often stored deepest. I will go, Han Feidao stepped forward. He was today's main guest, but his performance today was indeed unworthy of his status. If he wasn't embarrassing himself while deciphering the demonic writings, he was failing to recognize the cold dragon essence marrow pill. Now the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box was almost fully explored. If he didn't make his presence known soon, even if the students and juniors said nothing, he himself would feel his old face had nowhere to hide. Jiang Fan was pushed to the side, his brows slightly furrowed. Before he could get angry, Ling Shu came over, gently rubbing his arm that had been bumped with her delicate jade fingers. She gave him a helpless look. Brother, let him have a chance. Han Feidao also had his pride. Being suppressed by Jiang Fan all the time would only exacerbate their conflict, leading to an unhappy parting. Jiang Fan said, let him be. What was there to fight over? If Han Feidao wanted to do it, let him. Han Feidao checked the box. Making sure nothing dangerous was leaking out, he reached out and opened the final compartment of the box. What appeared made everyone fall into confusion. It was actually a compartment of water, a compartment of silver water. 50 years had passed by, a full cycle of 60 years. The silver water was still as bright as ever, seeing daylight again as the compartment opened. What is this? Hun Yuan's face showed curiosity. He casually pulled out a strand of hair and stirred it inside the compartment. The silver water, like ordinary sand, was gently stirred. It neither erupted any spiritual power nor showed properties of corrosion or poisoning. Liu Li paused and said, the Tiger Demon Emperor wouldn't leave behind a puddle of useless silver water, would he? Could it be some kind of spiritual liquid that enhances cultivation? Everyone gathered around with curiosity. Ling Shu's eyes twinkled, joking, Brother Hun Yuan, why don't you try it? Upon hearing this, Hun Yuan glared straight at her. When copying cultivation techniques, it's always Brother Jiang Fan. When testing for poison, suddenly your brother Hun Yuan comes to mind. Other people just tended to side with outsiders. But not Ling Shu. She would not only side with outsiders, but also put her own people in harm's way. Brother Hun Yuan, you misunderstood. You are one of the 4 outstanding heroes, strong and capable. The more capable, the greater the responsibility, right? Oh, just have a try. Ling Shu said coyly with a smile. Hun Yuan rolled his eyes. Sorry, I can't handle that kind of capable. Let your brother Jiang Fan try it. Though knowing it's a joke, it still made him angry. Did the differential treatment need to be this obvious? Jiang Fan also chuckled. Ling Shu, stop messing around. This is not possibly a spiritual liquid enhancing cultivation. Not a trace of demon energy or spiritual power. Most likely a precious material. As soon as the words fell, Han Feidao snorted lightly through his nose and said, you are not confused. This is memory silver water, once the favorite of the Tiger Demon Emperor. Memory silver water. Ling Shu looked puzzled, saying, I have only heard of memory silver sand. It said it can replicate anything it touches. Once touched, it can replicate its appearance. Indistinguishable from the real thing. Everyone showed a look of shock. There existed such a magical thing as memory silver sand in this world. Han Feidao showed a look of admiration. You haven't read little. Yes, indeed, there exists something called memory silver sand. Back then, the Tiger Demon Emperor even used the memory silver sand to replicate a spiritual artifact, successfully deceiving a divinity transformation realm great power into giving him a pill that helped him break through the late period of the Demon Emperor. Afterwards, he was chased by that divinity transformation realm great power, almost losing his life. Listening to such a legendary story, everyone was astonished. Was memory silver sand so magical? It could even deceive a divinity transformation realm great power. And the Tiger Demon Emperor used it to break through to the late period of the Demon Emperor. But that was memory silver sand. What lay before them was a puddle of water, clearly a different thing. With a bright and resourceful mind, Ling Shu said, Elder Han said memory silver sand was also the Tiger Demon Emperor's. Silver water and silver sand, separated by one character. Could it be that this silver water is actually the silver sand, just transformed from sand to water for some reason? Han Feidao's old eyes showed deep admiration. There are 2 clever people in the demon race. One is the spirit sound priest. Her actions over the years have been mostly unfathomable to me. The rare things I understood stunned me every time. The other is concubine Xianxia. Though not as profound as the spirit sound priest, she is also remarkably wise, seeing through everything. Today I see a third. With more experience, you won't be much inferior to concubine Xianxia. It was rare for Han Feidao, known for his strictness, to praise someone so highly. Even Ling Shu couldn't help but blush, saying, Elder Han is overpraising me. Ling Shu's mere lifetime effort couldn't match half of your achievements. Haha, Han Feidao chuckled, pointing to the silver water compartment. Indeed, as you said, this silver water was once the magical memory silver sand. During the pursuit by the divinity transformation realm great power, the memory silver sand was corroded by some kind of lethal poison from that power. Eventually, the sand melted into water. It was thought the Tiger Demon Emperor abandoned it. Unexpectedly, it was preserved so dearly. Everyone felt great regret. Such an extraordinary memory silver sand had been destroyed. Ling Shu felt even more heartache. The third layer with the highest expectations turned out to be worthless. She couldn't conceal her disappointment. Elder Han, is there no way to restore the silver sand? Han Feidao laughed hoarsely. The poison fused with the silver sand. How to separate them? The Tiger Demon Emperor even traveled to the outer domain to invite a 4-star Soul Master to try extracting the silver sand. But that Soul Master could do nothing. Because, once the sand is extracted, the lethal poison combined with it would be released. That was a poison cast by a divinity transformation realm power. Can ordinary people withstand it? Even a 4-star Soul Master was helpless. The last bit of Ling Shu's hope shattered. She looked sorrowful, saying to Jiang Fan, "Brother, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You worked hard deciphering the demonic writings and opening the jade box. The 3-part reward I promised cannot be fulfilled." A spirit pill had to be handed over to the Demon Emperor. A compartment of waste water had no value. A demonic cultivation technique book was of no use to Jiang Fan. He got nothing. Jiang Fan gave a gentle smile. "If you truly feel bad, just give me this compartment of memory silver water. I'll take it back to the human clan. Maybe there's a chance to extract the memory silver sand." Ling Shu was somewhat touched. Clearly worthless, Jiang Fan accepted it just to comfort her feelings. "Brother is truly a gentle person." Ling Shu smiled, handing him the silver water. "I'm giving it to you. This is my personal gift to brother. I'll compensate for unlocking the jade box separately. As for the Demon Emperor, I think he wouldn't mind me deciding on this waste water." Jiang Fan received it, pouring the silver water into a jade bottle, carefully storing it in his bosom. His heart pounded, causing the jade bottle to vibrate slightly. To others, it was waste water. To Jiang Fan, it wasn't. Clan 4, he was a 4-star Soul Master. It was completely possible to refine the memory silver sand. As for the deadly poison within it, others might fear it, but Jiang Fan did not. The poison pill within his body had not absorbed new poisons in a long time. "Thank you very much." Jiang Fan smiled. Ling Shu gave a coquettish smile and said, "There is no need for such courtesy, brother. I am very happy that you are willing to accept it." Liu Li listened with furrowed brows and cold eyes. She had enough of her coquettishness. She clasped her hands towards Han Feidao and said, "Teacher, I am not feeling well. I shall take my leave first." Han Feidao nodded. "I was also planning on leaving. Ling Shu, I will accompany you to see the Demon Emperor. I will ask him to compensate you more regarding the cold dragon essence marrow pill." Smart and considerate, yet able to cheer people up, anyone would be willing to lend a helping hand. Ling Shu's eyes brightened. "Thank you, Elder Han." The Demon Emperor held Han Feidao in high regard. He was one of the few people who could enter and leave the Demon Emperor court at will without the Demon Emperor's permission. If he said a few kind words, the Demon Emperor would certainly show him respect and give more rewards. Seeing that everyone had left, Hun Yuan and the 8 stars naturally did not stay any longer. "All right, let's disperse then. By now, the Beihai Demon clan should have arrived. Let's spar more to keep ourselves in peak condition, ready to face their challenges anytime." The 8 stars were full of fighting spirit. They immediately followed Hun Yuan away. Seeing that everyone had left, Liu Li finally no longer had to keep her posture. She leaned back on the chair, her previously straight waist slumping down. "Ah, so tired. Being pregnant, my body is obviously not as good as before. Sitting for a while already makes my back ache." Poof, Jiang Fan could not hold it in and laughed out loud. Liu Li glared at him, initially wanting to scold him. But thinking about how Jiang Fan had performed well today, giving her lots of face, she changed it to a light reproach. "You men really do not understand the hardships of women." Jiang Fan struggled to hold back his laughter. "Indeed, indeed. Shall we head back now?" He could not wait to refine the memory silver sand. Liu Li slightly nodded. At this moment, the crowd of demon warriors gathered outside Huakui building not only did not disperse, but instead, with friends calling friends, more and more gathered. At a glance, the crowd of demon warriors nearly formed a beast tide. "Would you dare to leave the Demon Emperor court next time?" Liu Li teased with a smile. Jiang Fan was speechless. With so many demon warriors gathered, it was not very practical to ride back on the Sky-Devouring Tiger. Only sword flight would work. "Hold on to me." He summoned the purple sword. Jiang Fan carried Liu Li, breaking through the window and sky crossing. "It's him, don't let him escape. Chase him." The vast crowd chased after the purple sword. Jiang Fan smiled wryly to himself. With a mere thought, the purple sword sped ahead, distancing itself from the crowd. But at this moment, Jiang Fan's eyes narrowed and he shouted, "Watch out!" From the corner of his eye, he caught a glimpse of an incredibly fast, pitch-black shadow heading towards him. One must know that Jiang Fan was currently engaged in sword flight. Undoubtedly, the approaching figure was a flying creature, and it was an extremely fast one. Whoosh, the shadow flashed past. Jiang Fan ducked, but suddenly felt the purple sword lighten and rise significantly. Bad, turning to look. Liu Li was nowhere to be seen. She had been taken by the flying creature. Jiang Fan's mind raced. The reason Jiang Fan could still be alive and walk freely among the demon race. There was only one reason: to save face for the demon emperor's daughter. If the demon emperor's daughter were to meet with an accident, Jiang Fan would lose his worth. Then his fate. Jiang Fan immediately looked around. In the distance, he saw a shadow carrying Liu Li rapidly moving away. In a breath, it had become the size of a sesame seed. Even though it was a flying creature, its speed was terrifyingly fast. Catch someone else, but taking Liu Li, I cannot ignore it. Jiang Fan thought of Purple Star's words. Before they came, people went missing all over the city. So they had investigated the reason. Yet for some reason, this matter was still unresolved. Unbelievable in Demon Emperor City, under the Demon Emperor's nose. Such a huge event happening for so long, and the Demon Emperor remained unfazed. To the extent that they became bold enough to capture the Demon Emperor's daughter. "You captured a part of my life." Jiang Fan's mind moved. He immediately performed the Heavenly Thunder 6 parts Cloud Shadow, second layer. Sizzle, a streak of purple thunder struck down, transforming into a mighty thunder dragon, carrying Jiang Fan and catching up in an instant. This leap covered nearly 2,000 feet. Now Jiang Fan saw the flying creature up close. It was not a flying creature at all, but a person. A woman surrounded by massive bubbles moving at high speed, about 30 years old. She looked good with a slender figure. However, her clothes were quite peculiar, merely some green seaweed hastily covering vital parts. Liu Li was in her ornate bubble below, looking bewildered at the moment, still seemed not to have recovered from being captured. The woman had a mocking smile, caught another one. Demon Emperor Palace's defenses are like a sieve. How can our clansmen have any safety while studying here? Indeed. She was one of the 4 deputy envoys of the Beihai Demon clan visiting group this time. At this moment, the 4 deputy envoys were all on a mission to conduct a test. They acted separately, randomly capturing residents of Demon Emperor City. If by dawn, the strong of Demon Emperor City could not stop their actions, or if they captured more than 100 residents, it would be enough to prove that Demon Emperor City could not protect the Beihai Demon clan's children. The subsequent visit could proceed merely as a formality, just a perfunctory act to finish. Negotiating the exchange of clan members for advanced studies should no longer be mentioned. Mainland Demon Clan only has brute strength, very few have innate bloodlines. To stop me, Mu Ziyu, apart from the Demon Emperor, there should be no second person in the demon race. Sizzle, she was speaking to herself. A purple cloud thunderbolt flashed above her head. Looking up, she froze slightly. A person standing on the thunderbolt. "Put her down and scram." Jiang Fan looked down at the woman, coldly shouting, "What?" Mu Ziyu looked carefully. She saw a handsome youth shackled at his hands and feet. Must be a scion of the demon race, too. Her beautiful eyes blinked and she smiled sweetly. "Thunderpath bloodline talents? Your speed is quite impressive. To catch up with me, sister." Apparently calm and composed. But inside, she stirred with turbulent waves. Her current escape speed, even among the Beihai Demon clan, ranked in the top 10. Yet this youth easily caught up. Who was this person? From which tribe? Never heard of a tribe in the mainland Demon clan so proficient in the Thunder Path. What changed her expression further? During their stare-off, the youth unceremoniously slapped a palm towards her. A broad thunderbolt handprint, containing explosive thunder arcs, impressively slammed towards her. Mu Ziyu took a deep breath. In the face of such thunder arcs, even with her being a core formation 8-layer, she felt a hint of danger. Was this really an innate bloodline talent a youth from the demon race could exert? She initially intended to state her origin to avoid unnecessary conflict. But seeing the opportunity, she found it interesting. She opened her mouth and exhaled a series of bubbles. The bubbles expanded in the wind, growing bigger and bigger, one by one layer upon layer engulfing the thunderbolt handprint. Despite the great power of the thunderbolt handprint, the bubbles seemed to stick to it, impossible to break. Heh, the demon race thunder path is nothing special. If you don't put in more effort, I might take this tender girl back to reward my subordinates. Mu Ziyu looked playful, very curious about what Thunder Path Jiang Fan would display next. Impudent? Yet Jiang Fan coldly shouted. A soul nail shot out from between his eyebrows. It plunged into her soul. Ah, soul's secret technique. Why don't you follow the rules? Mu Ziyu clutched her head, which felt like it would split from the pain, and staggered. The spinning glass bubble enclosing Liu Li turned over repeatedly. Aren't you from the Thunder Path tribe? Why do you also know soul's secret technique? Mu Ziyu cried out in pain. She was shaken. Demons who mastered soul's secret technique were as rare as phoenix feathers, whether on the mainland or in the North Sea. To her knowledge, only the priest lineage on the mainland knew the secret technique. What was with this boy in front of her? Why ask so much? Thunder Dragon Lightning Leg? Jiang Fan rode the thunder forward. 2 thunder dragons surged from his feet, crashing into the bubble surrounding Mu Ziyu. Thunder Dragon Lightning Leg specialized in breaking defenses. As he cultivated the Void Flow Thunder Force, its restraining power grew more than double. The bubble burst on the spot. Jiang Fan's feet brutally stomped on her chest. He had imagined Mu Ziyu's chest would fracture. At the very least, her ribs would break. Yet, Mu Ziyu only felt pain. The pain brought her consciousness back as she angrily scolded. Brat, are you serious? She, a deputy envoy of the Beihai Demon clan, a senior, was actually wounded by a mainland demon junior. If word got out, she'd have no face to return to the North Sea. Fine. I'll capture you too. Mu Ziyu's hand moved like lightning, grabbing Jiang Fan's ankle. Her hand appeared weak and boneless, but it was tough as iron. Once she grabbed, it was hard to shake off. HMPH. Lie down for me. From her snow-white arm, a series of mysterious blue currents suddenly surged toward Jiang Fan's ankle. There was no need to sense it carefully. This peculiar power was entirely different from both human and demon forces. He would not try it lightly. Arrogant! Jiang Fan remained calm, swiftly taking out the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. His other hand quickly formed a seal, casting it onto the mountain. 5 magnetic divine light! The multicolored light instantly enveloped a 3-meter radius. Mu Ziyu was about to punish Jiang Fan. She suddenly felt a surge of panic as the blue power surging out vanished abruptly. Very soon, she lost control of all the blue power within her body. Even more terrifyingly, she realized her physique's power vanished too, unable to grip Jiang Fan's ankle tightly. 10,000 forces prohibition, void flow passage. Void flow thunder force. At this moment, Jiang Fan softly shouted. Thunder arcs danced on his foot, shaking her hand off, and the next kick struck her chin. SPFF, Mu Ziyu was kicked from the sky down to the ground. Luckily, it wasn't far from the ground. And she was in the Jiden 8th layer, only causing her throat to taste bloody. She hurriedly got up, her eyes full of fear. What had happened just now? Under the multicolored radiance, she lost all her strength. A terrifying chill ran down her spine. Jiang Fan was ferocious beyond compare. Storing the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, he plummeted straight down. His hands quickly formed complex seals. A series of mysterious trajectories converged into an intricate seal technique. It seemed to open some ancient, giant door. God Lord Vast! With Jiang Fan's indifferent call, golden streams of energy flowed out from within him, forming a towering 10-meter golden statue behind him. The statue radiated golden light and had an imposing face. 8 arms stretched out, seemingly holding the heavens and earth. It looked like a deity. What is this? Mu Ziyu was stunned. She had never seen anything so bizarre. The next moment, her skin crawled with fear. One pair of arms moved, striking towards Mu Ziyu. 2 golden fists roared towards her. Startled, Mu Ziyu instinctively sensed this attack was extremely dangerous. She hastily spewed out countless bubbles. Trying to trap the golden fists, snap, in an instant, all the bubbles were pierced through. Her scalp tingling, Mu Ziyu quickly took out a massive shell shield, placing it in front of her as she cried out. Stop! I am from the North Sea! Crack. The incredibly defensive shell was instantly blasted away by the golden fists and heavily struck her. SBFF, the tremendous force impacted. She felt like her entire skeleton was shattered. Her internal organs violently shook, shifting as if displaced. She couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Her vision blacked out and she staggered, collapsing to the ground. Before fainting, she trembled and pointed at Jiang Fan. I will. Bang, Jiang Fan landed. He kicked her forehead, completely knocking her out. At this point, the bubble holding Liu Li gently floated down. She gazed at Jiang Fan in shock. This Jiang Fan was entirely different from the Jiang Fan in the myriad swords sex sword forest. They seemed like two completely different people. The series of overwhelming techniques just now made her eyelids twitch. The Thunder Path Secret Technique, Soul Attack, 5 Magnetic Divine Light, Void Flow Thunder Force, and the ultimate terrifying statue power directly beat this woman into submission with no chance to counterattack. "I told you to let her go, but you wouldn't listen." Jiang Fan stomped on her chest. He asked, "Liu Li, this person caused trouble in Demon Emperor City. Killing her wouldn't be an issue, right?" The root must be eradicated. This woman was very unwilling, even pointing at him before fainting. "No!" Liu Li hurriedly stopped him, glancing at the woman and speculating about her identity. Her face showed some concern. "If I'm not mistaken, she should be from the Beihai Demon Clan's visiting delegation, and based on her age and strength, likely a deputy envoy or a high-ranking entourage member. You've caused quite a problem by injuring her this badly." Jiang Fan looked bewildered. "What, the Beihai Demon Clan's people came to your Demon Emperor City to capture citizens for fun? Does the Demon Emperor not intervene?" He immediately understood. Precisely because they knew she was from the Beihai Demon Clan, the Demon Emperor didn't interfere. The two clans must have already met. It's even possible the Demon Emperor was meeting with the visiting delegation leader from Beihai at this moment. Capturing people in the city was likely without malicious intent. Why didn't this woman say so earlier? Jiang Fan was speechless. Thinking he had fought common thieves, he had seriously injured an officially authorized individual. Liu Li's lips twitched, "But you still need to give her a chance to speak." A series of attacks left her half dead. She couldn't even speak if she wanted to. She looked around, seeing no one. Quickly said, "Let's leave now while no one's here." "After all, this woman doesn't know you, nor does she know me." Jiang Fan nodded. Before leaving, he squatted down and searched her body, since he had offended her already. No harm in offending a bit more. Regardless of what he found, he stuffed everything into the heavenly thunder stone. Then quickly fled with Liu Li. Who knows how long after? Mu Ziyu awoke with a splitting headache. She found her face bruised and swollen, looking like a pig's head. Several bones were broken. The internal injuries were quite severe. She'd lost more than half her life. If that were all, it would have been fine, but she discovered she had been robbed of everything. Extremely furious, she had been bested by a junior. What an enormous humiliation. But then she felt a chill on her chest. She pulled open her collar and looked inside, her face turning red with shame and anger as she screamed. "Ah, damn it, he even took my belly band. Shameless, despicable, lecherous." Imperial Court Garden. At this moment, the Demon Emperor was playing chess with a middle-aged man exuding a faint seawater aura. "Sky Demon Emperor, your mind isn't on the game," the middle-aged man said with a gentle smile. The Demon Emperor glanced at the losing chessboard, then looked at the dozens of Demon Emperor City residents caught nearby. He said faintly, "It's been a while since I played, I'm rusty." Just then, another deputy envoy arrived, bringing 10 more people. Including the previous ones, over 60 people had been captured. The Demon Emperor's face darkened slightly. Clan's diplomatic delegation had finally arrived, but not all of them had made it. The head envoy, along with 4 deputy envoys, had arrived first at the Demon Emperor court to pay their respects to the Demon Emperor. The elite disciples of the Beihai Demon Clan were still on their way. They would reach the Demon Emperor City by tomorrow. Thus, the official visit for the 10-year promise would commence. The head envoy was an elegant middle-aged man. He wore a jade crown and a blue robe, with a jade pendant hanging from his waist. His facial features were gentle and calm, with eyes full of wisdom. If it weren't for the gill-like patterns on his cheeks, it would be hard to believe that this was a member of the Beihai Demon Clan. He was indeed Yu Qingshuan, the strongest under the North Sea Demon Emperor, at the 9th layer perfection of core formation. "Sky Demon Emperor, your city seems quite unsafe. In the time of 3 games of chess, over 60 people have been captured. Yet none of the 4 culprits have been caught." Yu Qingshuan had a relaxed smile on his face. Before the visit, the North Sea Demon Emperor had instructed him to halt the exchange between elite disciples of both sides. Since the fall of the Tiger Demon Emperor, the overall strength of the mainland Demon Clan had declined each year. Especially after the new Demon Emperor took the throne, the strength of various divisions had declined even more noticeably. Sending the Beihai Demon Clan's elites for further training would undoubtedly waste their time. But 10 years ago, the elites of the Beihai Demon Clan had overwhelmingly crushed their peers from the mainland Demon Clan. Their crude and simple methods had left the mainland Demon Clan utterly humiliated. Since then, the mainland demon clan harbored resentment, with a hint of hatred. Therefore, the North Sea Demon Emperor instructed him to refuse this time in a gentler manner, to avoid escalating the two clans' hatred. Thus, Yu Qingshuan visited early, to ensure the safety of the Beihai Demon clan's elite disciples in the Demon Emperor city in the future. He proposed letting his 4 deputy envoys pretend to be culprits, capturing residents in the city, to test if the Demon Emperor city was safe and reliable. Sky Demon Emperor naturally was unwilling, but if he refused, wouldn't that imply even he, as the Demon Emperor, didn't trust the safety of the Demon Emperor city? So he had no choice but to agree. In his view, his demon kings, war generals, and war kings were all trustworthy top experts. Handling 4 deputy envoys shouldn't be difficult, but the outcome exceeded expectations. The 4 deputy envoys were extremely proficient in various escape techniques. 2 hours passed. The 4 deputy envoys were still moving as if no one else existed in the city. He picked up a piece and calmly placed it on the chessboard. No rush. My subordinates have been preparing for a great battle with the human clan lately. When they react, there will be results. Yu Qingshuan looked at the position where the Demon Emperor placed his piece. He smiled and said, "Demon Emperor, this move doesn't seem very good." It was obvious the Demon Emperor was distracted. At this moment, another deputy envoy returned, holding a dozen captives in their hand. Including the previous ones, there were now over 70 captives. The Demon Emperor's brows couldn't help but knit together. A bunch of useless people. So many strong individuals in the royal city, and they couldn't stop 4 deputy envoys. A shadow flashed by. Another deputy envoy returned. The Demon Emperor completely lost interest in the chess game and stood up looking at the returning deputy envoy. If they continued capturing, the Demon Emperor city would be entirely unsafe. However, when he saw the returning female deputy envoy, his face showed a strange expression. Yu Qingshuan was in a good mood. Once they captured enough residents and the 4 deputy envoys remained unharmed. If he said the Demon Emperor city was unsafe, the Demon Emperor couldn't refute a word. And since this place couldn't guarantee the safety of the Demon clan, the so-called deep exchange would naturally be out of the question. He had already started planning the next day's agenda in his mind. A formal visit to the mainland Demon clan in the morning, returning after lunch. This mission would have perfectly met the North Sea Demon Emperor's expectations. Plop, unexpectedly, the returning deputy envoy knelt before him. Yu Qingshuan was taken aback and came back to his senses. He turned his head in astonishment. Noticing that the one kneeling on the ground was Mu Ziyu, he exclaimed, "What are you doing?" Mu Ziyu didn't speak. She just kept wiping her tears. At this moment, Yu Qingshuan noticed her unusual state. He couldn't help but exclaim, "What happened to you?" Mu Ziyu's appearance at this point couldn't be merely described as disheveled. Her once pretty face was swelling on one side and bruised on the other. Her mouth and chin were covered with dried blood scabs. Her hair was disheveled and she looked filthy. Several parts of her body showed obvious bone deformities, clearly broken bones. What left Yu Qingshuan most dumbfounded was, Mu Ziyu's front was bare. No, what had she gone through? Was she severely violated by some vicious demon? Woo-woo. As Yu Qingshuan questioned her, Mu Ziyu's pent-up grievances finally erupted. She wailed and cried out loud, "Master Yu, I've let you down, let down the Beihai Demon clan, please punish me." Yu Qingshuan's mouth twitched hard. "Let me down. We're clearly innocent. Don't drag me into this." "What exactly happened?" "Speak clearly." Yu Qingshuan helped her up and asked gently, maintaining his elegant demeanor throughout. Mu Ziyu wiped her tears and confessed with shame, "Master Yu, I was beaten by a strong demon." Despite having an answer in his heart, Yu Qingshuan couldn't hide his disappointment. So the Demon Emperor city does have a certain level of safety. Using this as an excuse to interrupt the exchange and learning of the younger generation of both clans wouldn't be easy. The Demon Emperor's previously heavy heart suddenly felt lightened. He couldn't help but relax his brows. Finally, his people took action and turned the tide. He made a mental note to heavily reward them later. Suppressing his smile, he feigned a solemn tone. "Deputy Envoy Mu, who was the one who beat you to this extent? Their actions were too reckless. I will call them over right now to stand up for you." Yu Qingshuan glanced at the extremely disheveled Mu Ziyu and then at her bare front. Holding back a thread of anger in his eyes, he said, "There's no need for that. A bet is a bet, and the Beihai Demon clan can handle defeat. Just hope the Demon Emperor will properly restrain his subordinates. Beating her is one thing. Performing such disgraceful acts is another." Anyone unaware might think the mainland demon clan is still living in ancient barbaric times, unrefined. The demon emperor's face turned pale, as he noticed Mu Ziyu's exposure at that moment. Who was the lecherous scoundrel? A deputy envoy of the Beihai demon clan being forcefully violated in the mainland demon clan's territory. If word got out, what would become of the mainland demon clan's reputation? No, he didn't. As soon as Mu Ziyu heard their misunderstanding, she quickly clarified. I was just searched while unconscious. He didn't violate me. Yu Qingshuan pondered. You were unconscious, so how do you know he didn't violate you? To defeat Mu Ziyu, beating her to such a state could only be done by one of the 5 demon kings or the 10 demon generals. They had undressed her upper body, so how come they didn't go further? Mu Ziyu lowered her head and said, the one who injured me was a young boy. His female companions were also beauties as stunning as flowers. How could he possibly take an interest in me? Though she was somewhat good-looking, she couldn't compare to the girl beside him. Moreover, she was much older than him. Only if he was blind would he bother with her body. She at least had this self-awareness. Yu Qingshuan let out a sigh of relief. That's good. Wait. Yu Qingshuan examined Mu Ziyu's injuries closely. Surprise flashed across his refined face. You said the one who injured you was a boy. Generals, among them there couldn't be a youth, right? Are you sure it was a young man? Yu Qingshuan found it hard to believe. He was well aware of Mu Ziyu's strength. 8th layer of core formation, proficient in her peculiar bubble talent, with invincible defense. Simultaneously, she cultivated the exclusive water series power of the Sea Demon Clan. For the mainland demon clan, who had never encountered water series power, it had an unexpectedly effective result. Logically speaking, in the mainland demon clan, the only ones who could surely defeat her were demon generals and demon kings. There was no other possibility. How could it be a young man? Mu Ziyu, ashamed, knelt down once again. The other party was indeed a junior. As subordinates, I am incapable, defeated by a demon junior, bringing shame to you, my lord, and to the Beihai demon clan. I plead for your punishment. Yu Qingshuan's body trembled slightly. To actually have lost to a youth, a demon junior. This was too humiliating. Even losing to a war king of the demon clan could be excused by saying it was due to acclamation issues. But losing to a junior, how could that be explained away? Yu Qingshuan pointed at her in anger, his heart filled with rage. But in the presence of the demon emperor, it was inappropriate to rebuke excessively. He could only try to recover a bit of dignity. That young man must have been seriously injured too, right? Given how badly you are hurt, how could he have come out unscathed? Yu Qingshuan's words clearly attempted to save his own pride. Mu Ziyu felt even more ashamed, and with no place to hide, she said, to report to the Lord he was unscathed. I was beaten from start to finish. I had no power to retaliate. In the end, I survived thanks to my defensive magical treasure. Otherwise, I would have been killed outright. Yu Qingshuan felt as if struck by thunder. He stared wide-eyed at Mu Ziyu, scarcely believing what he had heard. A demon youth forcefully suppressing Mu Ziyu in a brutal beating? No way. Even a 9th layer core formation demon general would struggle for 10 rounds against Mu Ziyu. Was she standing still, letting herself get beaten? His face turned increasingly ashen, the gills on his cheeks flapping rapidly. No longer keeping his scholarly demeanor, he roared, You actually lost miserably to a junior. Does he have 8 arms or something? Mu Ziyu cautiously lifted her head and said, how did you know he has 8 arms? The 8-armed divine statue still made her heart tremble when she recalled it. The statue only used 2 hands. If it had used 4, she felt she would have been done for already. Yu Qingshuan, hearing this, felt a pang in his chest and quickly sat down, rubbing his chest angrily. Mu Ziyu, why did I choose you as deputy envoy? Mu Ziyu felt aggrieved and said pitifully, but his attacks were really overbearing. If the Lord had seen him, you would understand. Soul attacks, thunder path techniques, 5 magnetic divine light, void flow thunder force. The final 8-armed divine statue. Recollecting it still made her scalp tingle. Every move was overwhelmingly domineering. Even if they fought again, no matter what preparations she made, she didn't think the outcome would improve. Praising others while disparaging yourself? Yu Qingshuan rebuked with a livid face. Turning his head, he said to the demon emperor with displeasure, My apologies to the Sky Demon Emperor. Your clan indeed hides countless talents. Even a mere junior managed to fight our deputy envoy to a standstill. At this moment, the demon emperor must be very pleased, very proud. After all, the mainland demon clan had finally redeemed the old grudge. Who knew? He saw the demon emperor frowning, a puzzled expression on his face. Yes, the Demon Emperor was confused as well. Initially, he thought it was one of his demon kings or war generals. But in the end, it was a youth. Among the demon kings and war generals, where would there be a youth? All had been cultivating for countless years. Impossible to associate them with youth, let alone a handsome youth. Deputy Envoy Mu, the Demon Emperor pondered. What did this person look like? Can you describe him? Yu Qingshuan was stunned. Demon Emperor, do you not know who this person is either? The Demon Emperor would have liked to take credit, but such things would surely come to light eventually. He cleared his throat. It must be a junior from our demon clan. I must admit my negligence with such an outstanding junior among our clan, yet I remained unaware. Yu Qingshuan's mouth twitched. This was a reverse boast, wasn't it? He did not believe for a moment that the demon clan had such an anomaly of a junior, and the Demon Emperor knew nothing about it. Mu Ziyu also found it surprising. Was there really such a thing? She immediately recalled seriously. The opponent was a youth very much like a member of the human clan. With fair skin, a high nose, deep starry eyes, sword-like eyebrows, and a jade hair crown. Yu Qingshuan cast her a scornful glance. You remembered those details clearly enough. Mu Ziyu blushed and coughed dryly. In short, he was a youth with outstanding temperament. There was also a gorgeous lady companion by his side. I suppose she was his wife because she was pregnant. The Demon Emperor's mind flashed with images of several handsome demons. Just as he was comparing, he suddenly heard the word pregnant. His heart skipped a beat. Could it be his daughter? That youth, very much like a human clan member, was it Jiang Fan? Oh, right, he was strange, with his hands and feet bound by chains. Mu Ziyu added. The Demon Emperor's eyelids twitched violently. Among the entire demon race, who else but Jiang Fan would walk around like that? At first, he thought the demon clan had produced an extraordinary genius. But it turned out to be Jiang Fan. He felt deeply disappointed. Yu Qingshuan nodded slightly. An extremely handsome youth with a pregnant wife, whose hands and feet were bound by chains. Wait! Yu Qingshuan abruptly stared at Mu Ziyu, exclaiming in surprise. What did you say? The opponent's hands and feet were bound. Mu Ziyu had not realized the severity of the situation, nodding truthfully. Yes, and the chains were very sturdy. Even with his incredible might, he couldn't break free. Yu Qingshuan erupted in fury, roaring, Mu Ziyu, you worthless thing. A junior with bound hands and feet, and you still couldn't defeat him. We are a diplomatic delegation, not a humiliation delegation. Yu Qingshuan was so angry he ground his teeth. Half a lifetime of cultivating Confucianism all shattered now. Mu Ziyu shrank her neck, still feeling wronged. I just had bad luck meeting him. If another deputy envoy had faced him, it wouldn't have been much better. Simultaneously, she was filled with curiosity and asked, Excuse me, Elder Demon Emperor. Do you remember who this person might be? She was too curious, wondering which clan could nurture such a prodigious talent. The Demon Emperor's face showed a trace of discomfort. How was he supposed to answer that? Could it be that the dignity of the mainland demon clan hinged on a human youth? Did I not provide enough description? Let me think more. Oh, right, many demons were chasing him, no less than 1,000. The scene was grand. He had unparalleled popularity among the mainland demon clan. The Demon Emperor's mouth twitched. Popularity, that was killing intent. Emperor's unusual behavior. His gaze flickered slightly and he said, Sky Demon Emperor. Is it possible that this child is not from your mainland demon clan? The Demon Emperor was unwilling to lose face. He immediately decided not to hesitate and said, Well, you could say that. What do you mean by could say that? Yu Qingshuan felt a moment of doubt but didn't dwell on it. Today had been a significant embarrassment. He no longer wished to stay and stood up, saying, It is getting late. I shall no longer disturb the Demon Emperor. I apologize for the chaos caused in the city today. Please distribute the special products from the Sea Demon clan to the captured residents. He took out a whole box of unique resources from the sea. Richly spiritual coral, sea clams containing top-grade spiritual pearls, and so on. The Demon Emperor watched them leave, then casually put away these resources. As for the captured residents, he glanced at them coldly. Useless waste. Get out. They almost brought disgrace to the demon clan. The residents, terrified, bowed and left hastily. Jiang Fan, even with your hands and feet bound, your sharpness cannot be subdued. The Demon Emperor's eyes flickered with uncertainty. At this moment, Han Feidao and Ling Shu came to pay their respects. Demon Emperor, good news has fallen from the heavens. The Tiger Demon Emperor's relic box has been opened. Han Feidao held the jade box, his face full of congratulations. What? The Demon Emperor's face changed dramatically. He snatched the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box, his eyes flashing with fierce light. Is everything inside? His face showed no signs of joy, only ferocity, as the greatest beneficiary of the Tiger Demon Emperor's legacy. The Sky Demon Emperor was most worried that others would also obtain the Tiger Demon Emperor's legacy. If that happened, a second Demon Emperor might be born. His position of power would be challenged. Han Feidao hurriedly bowed and said, "Please allow the Demon Emperor to inspect first." The Demon Emperor immediately opened the box. The first thing that came into view was a cold dragon essence marrow pill, which greatly surprised him. An elixir to enhance the nascent soul realm. Unfortunately, only ice-attributed demon beasts can use it. He then opened the second layer, showing surprise. A demon clan cultivation technique? This is rare. However, known demon clan techniques all have flaws. This one likely does too. Finally, he opened the third layer. The compartment was empty. The Demon Emperor stared intently at the two. "Where is the item?" Ling Shu's heart pounded, trembling violently. Unable to withstand the pressure, she knelt immediately. She secretly rejoiced that she had followed Jiang Fan and Han Feidao's advice to present the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade box. Offering it voluntarily still led to such suspicion from the Demon Emperor. She dared not imagine what his reaction would have been if she had kept it. Han Feidao remained composed, saying, "Demon Emperor." The last compartment contained memory silver water, the discarded silver sand from years ago. The Demon Emperor squinted his eyes. "I am asking, where did it go?" Ling Shu, shrinking her neck, cautiously replied. Reporting to the Demon King, Ling Shu gave it to Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan again. His eyes shifted and he snorted, "Bring Jiang Fan to me immediately. No one is allowed to handle the Tiger Demon Emperor's relics without my permission." Han Feidao glanced at the trembling Ling Shu. He said, "Demon Emperor, I repeatedly confirmed that it indeed is the discarded memory silver water. Gifting it to Jiang Fan should be fine. Even the Tiger Demon Emperor couldn't restore it. Could it miraculously regain glory in the hands of a mere human?" The Demon Emperor looked at Han Feidao. After a brief contemplation, he said calmly, "Very well. Since Elder Han says so, let's call it Jiang Fan's fortune." As he spoke, he gazed deeply at Han Feidao. "Elder Han, since you have met the human Jiang Fan, what is your impression of him?" Han Feidao pondered seriously, then said, "Immense potential, highly dangerous. I suggest immediate execution." Hearing this, the Demon Emperor's gaze softened. When Han Feidao suggested giving the memory silver water to Jiang Fan, the Demon Emperor's heart was filled with suspicion. As a human, Han Feidao aligning with Jiang Fan was something he couldn't tolerate. Fortunately, Han Feidao remained hostile to humans as always. The recommendation he gave was fierce and aligned with Demon Clan interests. "Elder Han holds this child in high regard. I will take your suggestion seriously." He glanced at the jade box in his hand and said, "I will keep these two items. Ling Shu, you have done well in presenting the treasure. I permit you to cultivate in the Northland's secret realm for 10 days. You will depart once the delegation visit is over." "What?" Ling Shu was overwhelmed with joy. The Northland's secret realm of the Demon Clan was a rare opportunity. Among the 4 outstanding heroes, the other 3 had gained extraordinary benefits from it. Ling Shu's tribe was not as powerful, so she never had the chance. Now she had unexpectedly obtained this opportunity. "Thank you for your grace, Demon Emperor." The Demon Emperor nodded slightly. "Go now, and in tomorrow's sparring, make sure to showcase the power of the mainland Demon Clan." "Yes, Demon Emperor." Liu Li Palace. After returning, Liu Li went back to her room to rest. Jiang Fan entered the secret chamber. After closing the door, the first thing he did was to take out all the items he took from Mu Ziyu using the Heavenly Thunder Stone. There were many items, a dazzling array, including poison needles made from fish bones, unknown sea spiritual grasses, and even a red belly band. "Wait!" Jiang Fan's face turned stiff. "How did I take her belly band? Oh no, will she think I'm a pervert?" He had left hastily, grabbing whatever he could and stuffing it into the Heavenly Thunder Stone. He never expected to pull this out, too. Now, even if he tried to explain, it would be difficult to justify. However, it was unlikely he would meet the Beihai Demon Clan again, so he simply burned it into ash with a fireball. Suddenly, Jiang Fan noticed under the belly band an object covered by a palm-sized seashell. Inside it, the sound of seawater could be heard. Pure water essence energy emanated from within. "Is this water source essence?" Jiang Fan was astonished. Water, after all, was one of the forces of the world, just like the power of thunder and lightning. The water source essence before him contained immense water energy. It was a treasure for water attribute demon beasts or martial artists who practiced water-based cultivation techniques. Thinking about it, there did not seem to be anyone around him practicing water-based techniques. Nor did he have plans to cultivate such techniques himself, just as he thought it useless. Suddenly, he recalled the conversation he had with the giant egg last time. It was currently weak and needed some natural energy to replenish itself, enabling it to produce more true spirit blood. The water source essence before him was just perfect for it, wasn't it? He immediately took out the giant egg and illuminated it with the ancient heart mirror. He could instantly hear the murmuring from within the egg. "Oh, why is my luck so bad? I finally escaped that ancient giant, the big vampire, only to be controlled by Xianxia, the little vampire. When I hatch, I will surely trap them in an egg and drain them. I'll drain them every day with all my might until they scream and whimper." Xianxia chuckled. Even inside the eggshell, it planned to retaliate against him, truly born to be rebellious. "Rebellious one, who are you calling a little shrimp?" Xianxia appeared and said. The giant egg got startled. It quickly changed its tone and said in a childish voice, "Oh, it's Big Brother. I was just thinking about you." Sly little rascal. Xianxia shook the conch in his hand. "Absorb this, how much true spirit blood can you produce?" The rebellious guy took a look, immediately looked delighted. "Wow, water source essence. Big Brother, I love you the most. After I digest it, I'll give you just as much essence blood as last time." Oh. If there's that much more, could it push the divine image to the next level? He was very satisfied with the power of that strike just now. If he used the strength of 4 arms, the power of a single blow should reach the 9th layer of core formation. With such strength, he'd be top tier among both the demon race and the human clan. "Big Brother, give it to me quickly." The rebellious guy drooled, urging. Xianxia was about to throw it to him, but then hesitated, feeling a bit annoyed. The rebellious guy just lay there waiting to be fed while Xianxia had to run around everywhere. "Rebellious guy, besides the ancient heart mirror, don't you have any other treasures?" The rebellious guy didn't even think and said, No, I'm just a fetus." "Where would I get magical treasures?" Xianxia continued. "Any cultivation techniques or innate divine abilities?" The rebellious guy shook his head quickly. "I'm so small, what could I know? Big Brother, you're really making things difficult for me." "Ha, damn thing." When he spoke ill of someone behind their back, he didn't look like a fetus. Xianxia nodded slightly and said, "All right, then I'll go ask around first, see if anyone wants to trade something for this. If there's any left, I'll give it to you." Saying this, he raised his hand, about to take it back. Wait, Big Brother, I just remembered I have a little toy. Take a look, see if you like it." The eggshell cracked open. A round agate stone rolled out. Xianxia didn't pick it up and asked, "What's this?" The rebellious guy said, "This is the Myriad Demon Stone. Demons wear it to temporarily double their demon power." Hiss. Double the power? This effect is a bit heaven-defying. If an 8th layer of core formation demon wore it, they'd have the power to rival the 9th layer of core formation. Although it wasn't very useful for Xianxia, a human, it was still a rare treasure. He immediately accepted it. Looking at the rebellious guy again, he couldn't help but laugh. "Didn't you say you didn't have any magical treasures?" The rebellious guy, unflustered, said. "It's a toy, not a magical treasure." "Ha, sneaky little guy, playing word games. If it had magical treasures, it most likely had cultivation techniques or divine skills as well. But having got a magical treasure today, it was a profit. There's plenty of time to slowly squeeze more out of him in the future." Casually, Xianxia tossed the conch to him. Then Xianxia stored him in the Heavenly Thunder Stone, after dealing with Mu Ziyu's stuff. Xianxia's eyes burned as he took out the memory silver sand. "This is the main event. If I can get my hands on an important figure's token or some authoritative credential, won't that allow me to pass unimpeded?" Upon learning about the memory silver sand's duplication ability, Xianxia realized its true value. Duplication of credentials. If the Demon Emperor had a token and it was duplicated, wouldn't Xianxia be able to mobilize the demon race army when the Demon Emperor was absent? However, now wasn't the time to extract the memory silver sand. Knowing the Demon Emperor was extremely suspicious. Ling Shu gave this bottle of waste water to Xianxia, but the Demon Emperor would absolutely not rest assured. He would definitely check it himself and make sure it was useless before giving up. To be safe, wait until the Demon Emperor had seen it, then extract it. Otherwise, if the memory silver sand was exposed, it would benefit the Demon Emperor. Stowing away the memory silver sand, Jiang Fan sat cross-legged. Last time in the Nine Dynasty ancient capital, leveraging the incredible spiritual energy there, Jiang Fan had pushed his cultivation to the peak of the third level of core formation in one go. Unfortunately, he later encountered the Demon Emperor and couldn't continue cultivating. Lately, he had been refining his body with true spirit blood and fighting with others. That little bottleneck was on the verge of breaking. It could be shattered at any time. He closed his eyes and began to absorb the surrounding spiritual energy. The next morning, Liu Li, with her big belly, knocked on the stone door. Jiang Fan, the Beihai Demon Clan visitation group, is about to arrive. Father has called for us to go over. Hearing no response, she doubtfully mumbled, "What's that guy doing in there?" Thinking for a moment, a sly smile crossed her lips. "Heh heh, you don't know I have a second bloodline talent, do you?" A blue light flashed in her eyes. In her view, the thick stone door turned transparent. Jiang Fan's cross-legged figure clearly appeared in front of her. Her second talent turned out to be X-ray vision. At this moment, Jiang Fan was at the critical moment of breakthrough. The spiritual power in his body surged into his golden core like waves. The golden core kept vibrating. Finally, when the absorbed spiritual energy reached a limit, with a bang, the golden core broke through like a cocoon reborn. It broke through its previous constraints and grew a whole size bigger. A surging aura burst out, sweeping in all directions. Still spying, Liu Li was instantly hit by the aura. Her eyes were affected and she clutched them in pain, softly moaning. Crack, the stone door opened. Jiang Fan, with the spiritual power of the fourth layer of core formation whirling around, had thunderbolts swirling in his palm. "So it's you." He then put away the thunderbolts. He thought it was someone else outside. Liu Li, hissing in pain, looked at Jiang Fan in amazement. You broke through to the fourth layer of core formation. But last time I saw you, you were only at a few layers of foundation establishment." She was a bit dazed. All in all, it's been just over 2 months. How does Jiang Fan break through as easily as drinking water? You yourself broke through from the 5th level of core formation to the 7th level of core formation. Jiang Fan retorted, leaving Liu Li speechless. "And what did you just do to me?" He suspiciously looked at Liu Li. Was it a hallucination? At the key moment of breakthrough, he felt as if he was being watched, like a gaze from close range. But Liu Li was clearly outside the stone door. "Nothing, just knocked on the door." Liu Li looked puzzled. "All right, let's not waste time. Father wants us to hurry to the Demon Emperor Palace. The Beihai Demon Clan visitation group has arrived." She took a deep breath, looking a bit solemn. The demon race had awaited this day for 10 years. Whether they could avenge their shame depended on today. Jiang Fan looked worried. "If we go, won't Mu Ziyu recognize us?" Liu Li sighed helplessly. "Father has already guessed it's you. He wants you to return what you took from him. Then this matter will be settled." Jiang Fan looked troubled. Seeing this, Liu Li's heart skipped a beat. "The things isn't there," Jiang Fan embarrassedly said. "Most of it is here, most of it is here." Liu Li felt relieved and said, "Then it's fine. Missing 1 or 2 items doesn't matter." Jiang Fan felt guilty. The issue was, the most important 2 items were missing. One was the water source essence, which could be compensated with resources. But the belly band he had burned to ashes. How could he replace that? Li arrived once more at the Demon Emperor Hall. Today, not only were the 5 demon kings, the 10 great war generals, and 100 war kings present, but also the 4 outstanding heroes and the 8 stars who shouldered the mission of the demon race. A sword forged in 10 years. The honor and disgrace of the race were all on today's line. The hall was filled with an air of solemnity. Only the delicate silhouette of Ling Shu added a touch of freshness to the hall. "3 elder brothers, I meticulously brewed some spirit wine for you last night. Let us drink this wine, and our 4 siblings will abandon everything to fight for the honor of the demon race." She had a food box hanging on her arm. After opening it, 4 small bowls and a palm-sized wine pot were revealed. Each bowl had a shallow layer of wine, then it was gone. The fragrant aroma of the wine quickly filled the entire hall. The demon kings couldn't help but look over. The Sky-Devouring Tiger showed a hint of surprise. "Is this brewed from several kinds of spirit fruits grown in the Northland? In our icy Northland, spirit fruits are rare. Ling Shu, this girl, is thoughtful." The sea charm also nodded slightly, showing a look of affection in her eyes. "There is a hint of burnt flavor in the wine. She must be brewing for the first time. Whether the wine is good or not, her intention is clear. I will personally teach her to brew wine in the future." The demon generals and war kings also looked at Ling Shu with mostly praise in their eyes. In terms of strength, Ling Shu was the last among the 4 outstanding heroes. In terms of reputation, who wouldn't like a beautiful, clever, gentle, and considerate girl? Even the coarse demons could be conquered by her, let alone the 4 outstanding heroes. Hun Yuan took the spirit wine, feeling a warmth in his heart. With this bowl of wine from Ling Shu's sister, it is worth dying today. Ling Shu rebuked. Brother Hun Yuan, don't say such things. I still want to continue training and journeying with my 3 elder brothers in the future. Hun Yuan's eyes reddened. He nodded heavily. All right. We all live, we must not only win, but also survive. One of the 4 outstanding heroes, Shen Tu, took the wine. Staring at the wine in the bowl, he said, The wine is cold, but my heart is warm. Knowing Ling Shu is my good fortune. Ling Shu sweetly smiled and brought the last bowl of wine to Mi Long, the leader of the 4 outstanding heroes. Mi Long was the strongest among the young generation of the demon race. The undisputed number 1, his strength was immense, and he sparred countless times with the 3 outstanding heroes, never defeated. However, he was cold by nature, never showing a friendly face to anyone. Except when facing Ling Shu, he couldn't resist. Mi Long saw the ashes on Ling Shu's sleeve, showing a look of affection. You who love cleanliness so much, yet your clothes are this dirty. Don't do this next time. Ling Shu smiled radiantly. I won't. Big brother Mi Long is kind to me. I will be kind to big brother Mi Long for a lifetime. Mi Long's eyes showed a trace of comfort. He smiled slightly and took the bowl of wine. At this moment, Jiang Fan and Liu Li arrived together. A daughter of the demon emperor, a prince consort, considered the most prestigious identities besides the demon emperor. The demon kings, demon generals, and war kings all saluted Liu Li. Only Ling Shu. She brightened up, greeting Jiang Fan happily. Brother Jiang Fan? Jiang Fan nodded at her. Then he became indifferent. Ling Shu was still full of joy, her pretty cheeks even showing a bit of shyness. Brother, I brewed some spirit wine last night. It's my first time brewing wine, not sure if it's good or not. Can you taste it for me? The demon Emperor Hall suddenly fell silent for a moment. Besides the 4 outstanding heroes, Ling Shu also prepared spirit wine for Jiang Fan. The 4 outstanding heroes had peculiar looks towards Jiang Fan. Wait, wasn't this a send-off wine? They drank it to fuel their blood for battle. Jiang Fan wasn't even joining the war. What did he need spirit wine for? Jiang Fan had to admit, Ling Shu knew how to manipulate people's psychology. If she said it was prepared with care for Jiang Fan, in such a public setting, Jiang Fan would consider others' opinions. He would most likely refuse. But saying it was for him to taste, Jiang Fan couldn't easily refuse. To give a gift so graciously that the recipient felt comfortable accepting it, that was a skill. All right, I'll taste it. Jiang Fan nodded. Ling Shu rejoiced, opening the second compartment. Inside was a small bowl and a large wine pot. Compared to the previous palm-sized, delicate wine pot, this one was several times bigger. She filled the bowl with wine, and there was still more than half left in the pot. Ling Shu happily handed the bowl to Jiang Fan. When brewing the first batch yesterday, it was a bit burnt. This is the second batch, improved. Brother, taste it, see if it's good. The 4 outstanding heroes stared at the wine in the bowl, fallen into deep thought. They had a shallow layer of wine. Jiang Fan had a full bowl. Their wine was the burnt, failed batch. Jiang Fan had the improved, good batch, who exactly was Ling Shu's close big brother. How did years of companionship not compare to a wild brother Jiang Fan? Hun Yuan rolled his eyes in anger. Truly our good little sister. Shen Tu looked at Jiang Fan's wine, then at his own, said, The wine is cold. My heart is colder. Mi Long's smile also faded. In the end, I am mistaken. He rarely cared for someone who knew the other cared more for Jiang Fan. Brother, drink up. Ling Shu's eyes were full of tenderness. Jiang Fan looked at the peculiar expressions of the 4 outstanding heroes, worried. Are they really all right with this? Ling Shu shook her head, smiling sweetly. It's fine. They will be all right soon. The 3 outstanding heroes felt another stab. Mi Long, with a cold face, drank the wine in one gulp. Shen Tu also drank deeply, said, So cold. Hun Yuan, after drinking, smashed the bowl on the ground fiercely. Why is everyone looking at me? I'll be all right soon. No one needs to care about me. Jiang Fan was speechless, taking the wine from Ling Shu and sipping it. Unexpectedly, it wasn't bad. Surprisingly good, considering it was her first time brewing. Not bad in the human clan, it would also be considered top-notch. You have a talent for brewing. You could open a wine house and crush Huakui building. Jiang Fan praised. Ling Shu's face flushed with shyness immediately. Brother compliments me. Thank you, brother, for tasting it. If you like, you can have the remaining wine. She handed over the large wine gourd to Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan couldn't refuse. "All right, thank you." As soon as he accepted it, a pair of sharp eyes shot over. It was naturally his fiancée who carried his child. Liu Li glared at Jiang Fan, furious inside. "You weakling can't even resist this little sweet talk," then looked fiercely at Ling Shu. Ling Shu felt smug, deliberately being kind to Jiang Fan in front of her. Sooner or later, she would win over his heart. Then she would watch Liu Li cry. At this moment, a terrifying pressure descended. Everyone's hearts trembled. The demon emperor had arrived as the pressure vanished. The once empty throne now held the imposing figure of the demon emperor. His gaze swept over, locking onto Jiang Fan. He said indifferently, "Come here."